Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom to the 12 tribes scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. This your brother Amath. I acquired first name. IQ is all the same. DSTM is what you're watching. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't do that. Episode 212, 212. Imagine that. Imagine that, man. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. Why Yahweh Shai, meaning and Yahweh Shai, the only begotten Son of the Most High, the Savior of Israel. How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? That's the question of the day. Hopefully everybody's doing well, man. Put a 7 in the chat if you're blessed and highly favored, as the Christians say, on the Shabbat, man. Rest day of the Lord. All praises, man. We made it. We made it. We've been laboring, catching hell 6 days a week, and we made it to the 7th, man. Made it to the 7th. Made it to the rest time, man. Rest stop. Dig what I'm saying? Shalom to the fam in the house, man. Shalak in the house. Shalom to you, right? Kohaf, shalom to you, good brother. The house of Elkanah fam. What's up with y'all? Hopefully you guys are doing well. The Amawanda family. Shaq and the rest of the crew. Shalom to y'all. Ashar in the house. Shalom to you, my brother. Diz the Wiz. Blessings and greetings to you, my sister. Glad that you wiped your feet. Let me make sure that I post your comments so that anybody that's coming up in here, man, you recognize and see what the etiquette is over here at MOTC and DSTM. All right. You come on in here, man, wipe your feet, man. Act like you was raised right. You dig what I'm saying? Like the carpet is clean, the floor just got waxed. Food is on the table. All you gotta do, wipe your feet before you come on in. Some of y'all can even take your shoes off. Get comfortable. Get comfortable. You know how we do over here. Come on. Come on in. Wipe your feet by hitting that like button, man. Uh algorithms, broken record, but it is what it is, man. Repetition is the best form of learning. Repetition is how programming sets in. So the more that we say it, the more that we can kind of program our brothers and sisters, man, to hit the like button, man. Help create the algorithm idea that this information is worthwhile, and let's keep it up. Let's make sure that it gets mentioned to the rest of the subscribers. Let's make sure that it has a visibility for other YouTube uh, searchers out there for truth regarding our people. 12 lost tribes, Blacks, Hispanic, Native Americans, man. If they're looking for the truth, man, look no further. This is just one pit stop that you can make to get some truth. All right. So wipe your feet, man. The algorithms hopefully will recognize it. Uh, one of the brothers hit me yesterday and was like, man, I miss your videos, man. But I know you've been doing a lot. A lot of them, man. It's a well-deserved break. I'm like, break? What you mean break? I'm still going hard, man. We still doing it. But obviously, he got unsubscribed, and the algorithms then took off his notifications. Uh, be that as it may, the lights are still on over here, man. We still mashing on the gas. All right, all gas, no brakes. Right. So yeah, everybody's doing good. All right, all praises, man. Good to see. Good to see. London in the house. Rosemary in the house. Shalom to you, sis. Brother Ron, shalom to you. All right. Shabbat shalom to everybody that's sliding on in here, man. A lot to talk about today, as usual, man. You're gonna get your daily dose or your weekend dose of current events, prophecy, judgment, history, some little tidbits. Wherever the spirit leads us, this is how we go over here. Right. I got things on the plate. Got things on the plate, but sometimes I veer off. Sometimes the spirit just moves me another way and says, make sure you talk about this too. So we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it. Hello, tell me about it. Yeah, so it's happening to a number of people, man. Like I said, brother hit me yesterday. We, sent me a message about some things, and then one of the things he let me know, he thought I took a break, thought I stopped doing DSTM for a while, which was a shock to me because I'm like, what? But then again, I knew that YouTube was acting funny. So, matter of fact, Another brother told me he's not getting notified and to let him know when I'm going live. So give me 1 second, y'all. Salaki, I forgot to warn the brother. Hold on. Damn, your brother doing double work. I got to not only send out notifications and reminder texts to people because YouTube ain't helping, but such is the life. Such is the life of a teacher, prophet, and man of the Most High. All praises, man. Is what it is. I'd rather brother tell me uh, I'm unsubscribing. I mean, I'd rather brother tell me, remind me so I don't miss DSTM rather than I've unsubscribed and I'm not watching DSTM. So if that means I got to do a little extra, man, send you a little reminder note, man, then it is what it is. All right. So, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if there's youngsters out there watching, man, let's get to it, man. Don't shoot the messenger. DSTM, episode 212. We got a lot to talk about, man. Your man, Donald Trump, they on his head, man. They on his head. Okay, you see that? We all we need to all start sharing the videos the minute it goes live. That's an excellent idea. Um, help your brother out. Help the body out over here, man. We got a nice little body over here, man. We all come in to get the same information. We all find it valuable, and why not share it? Why not share it? You know, be it far from me, man, to be panhandling on the internet for likes and helps and all that other stuff, man. I just want brothers and sisters, man, to make sure that they're informed as best they can and that they're in a spirit of repentance, man, fearing the Most High and aligning themselves with the word of the Most High as it pertains to prophecy because the judgments is coming down fast and furious. And I ain't talking about the movie. The judgments are coming down. All right. So, you know, let's take heed. Let's take heed, man. Shalom to the brethren just stepped on in here, man. Bayan the quad, man. Shalom to y'all, man. Brother Jackson, shalom to you. All praises, man. So back to the topic at hand, man. Your man Donald Trump, everybody knows, man. Agent Orange, Orange Bang, you whatever acronym or whatever name, everybody's got something for him. Everybody got something for Slow Biden. Sleepy Joe, Jim Crow Joe, what else do they got for him, man? Whatever. Trump ain't no different, man. But the government, man, and the rest of his evil counterparts, man, they hate that dude. They are on his head. They are fearful of his run in 2024. At the time, I believe he was the leading candidate again on the Republican side to get the nomination. I think his highest competitor is Ron DeSantis, and he's got his hands full with matters in his state of Florida. And Trump has still got loyalists out there, nationalists out there who's riding with him. And the elites who don't like the way that he's operating don't want him coming back. So they hit him up with the charges in regards to storing and having classified documents. They indicted him over the January 6th thing. They hit him up with the rape charges. Now they're doubling back and indicting him over these classified documents that he was stashing at the crib. But I wonder if they're going to do the same thing for Slow Biden. What do y'all think? Didn't Slow Biden get caught with confidential documents, classified documents, shortly after they busted Trump? Are they going to double back and get him too? Or is he the chosen puppet, man? He knows how to spread his cheeks. Oh, hold on. It's not Friday Night Lights. Let me calm down. He knows how to manipulate his bottom half, to make sure that that glove and that hand fits right up in there so they can manipulate his mouth and make sure that he does exactly what he's told. Slow Biden, his crime family, man, is getting away with multiple crimes. I was going to say murder, but, they can take that and say that that's disinformation and throw it away. No, that's a figure of speech. He's getting away with multiple crimes, but hey, they're gonna come after slow Biden. I mean, they're gonna come after Trump. Whether or not they prosecute him, I mean, right now they saying he's facing 100 years just off of these indictments over the confidential documents. Man, the bottom line is they just gonna shake him down and tell him, look, man, drop your presidential bid for 2024, man. Go right off into the sunset in Mar-a-Lago, man, and shut up and disappear, and we'll leave you alone. But Trump is so prideful, man, and he's so thirsty for power, and he loves the vanity of him having the title president that he can't let that go. He feels as though his entitlement to be president elect again got stolen from him, and he's hell bent on trying to get that spot back. But that's the pride. Most High said that pride have deceived thee. That's the pride of the so-called white man. His lust for power, man, he's not gonna try to let it go. Right? Rosemary, yeah. That I think so too. I think they all should be indicted. I think they all should be set up for the guillotines. all of them should be set up and lined up in a firing squad. Well, no. Let me be clear. Let me calm down. They all should be held up on indictment of charges for all of their corruption, including him. But we're not going to have righteous leaders. We're not going to have a righteous king overseer until Yahweh Shai comes back. So we're going to talk about him, man. Putin has said that he's moving tactical nukes to the border of Russia in a counter offensive to NATO and Ukraine and the West attacking Russia. So we're going to talk about that. We got an alien Psy-Ops on our hands. A Psy-Op, a psychological operation that's going on. Many of y'all have heard, and if you haven't, we'll look at it today. A so-called UFO crashed in Las Vegas, and the family happened to see two drunk stowaway 10-foot aliens in their backyard, and they called the police. And somehow the 10-foot aliens disappeared somehow. There's no wreckage of a plane crash. What are they hiding? Why are they utilizing these psychological operations, man? Why are they trying to throw out all these distractions? It's something that we got to discuss. We're going to look at all of this stuff, man. So let's get right to the meat and potatoes, as they say. Meat and potatoes, as they say. And, we're going to look at it. We're going to look at it. We're going to see. We're going to rightly divide the word. We're going to use some discernment. We're going to use some wisdom and some understanding. We're going to utilize the prophecies of the Most High. And we're going to see really what's happening. What is happening? So let me share my screen and we'll get to it. Okay, so as we see here, as we continue talking about this this war that's going on, I mean, and let's not forget the wildfires from Canada that's throwing down and blowing down toxic and unhealthy plumes of smoke down into the Americas. What is that about? What's that about? So we got a lot to look at and analyze, man, because there's more than meets the eye with many of things, many of things. Okay. So the Ukraine is launching a quote full-scale offensive in Zaporizhia. Okay, so uh 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, we seen an article that was saying that, oh, quote unquote, unfortunately, Russia has got the upper hand and they're actually winning the war. After that, what did we see? Slow Biden and NATO authorizing F-16s and bombs getting lined up for new training and new offensive attacks that's going to come down on Russia. And if y'all remember also, how long ago was it? At least 2-3 weeks ago, I covered a story in regards to that train crash that had the chemicals in it that was I can't remember the names of the chemicals, but the train crashed up. No, it was a train that was coming from. See, that's right. My memory's failing me right now. What was it? There you go. 60,000 pounds of explosive chemical was lost in a shipment from Wyoming, and it was coming out to California. Fertilizer, right? Now, then all of a sudden we see. Not to say that the two is related. I'm just saying, at the time when I said it, I said, don't be surprised you start seeing things blow up and false flags happening. And then lo and behold, guess what happens? A dam gets blown up over there in Russia and Ukraine, and both are blaming each other. Nobody knows who did it. Not saying that this is the chemicals that they use. I'm not trying to make that link, but just the fact that a quote unquote explosion had happened, and best believe there'll be more because as far as I know, this hasn't been retrieved yet. Notice it still says this is as May 21st. There's no updates about these explosive chemicals being found, right? So explosive materials are being lost, bombs going off over here, wildfires coming down, and people are saying that it smells like chemicals, getting headaches, getting sick, warnings to stay in the house, mask up. Very interesting. Flammable oh, let me slow down. Who knows what happened? But anyway, let's continue. So Ukraine launches a full-scale offensive in Zaporizhia. Kiev's forces have started their long-awaited counteroffensive to recapture occupied territory, according to Russian sources on social and state media. So now all of a sudden, Ukraine is on the march. They're smashing down on the Russians, and Putin is saying he's got to go ahead on and make a he's got to make a counteroffensive now, which he did, and he said he's going to move nukes down into the borders of Russia. Let's look at Job 34 and look how the Most High works. Because at the end of the day, we see what's happening with this war, and we see the operations happening between two factions of the Edomite clan, and he's got all the world watching, and all the world is involved. But this is all the judgment of the Most High. The so-called white man is out here playing chess and slap boxing with himself, but it's all the judgment of the Most High. The Most High is going to make him destroy himself, in addition to him being destroyed uh, via Yahweh Shai and the angels and the chariots and 144,000 elect of the Most High. Yeah, but you got to kind of soften him up. The so-called white man is strong. He's got a powerful front. He's got powerful weapons. He's got powerful psychological control and manipulation. He's running the earth. So he's going to have to be softened up a little bit. Not necessarily that Yahweh Shai and the angels need that, but in order for us to see as believers, to understand and see what the scriptures say in regards to America being collapsing and being destroyed, and you're saying, well, how's that going to happen? When is it going to happen? It's not going to happen just like that. It's ultimately going to be gone, like the scriptures say, in an hour. But prior to that, it says that the merchants and everybody else in Revelation 18 are going to see the collapse of this place. So they have to see the weakening and the softening of America before. And now all of our people can start reading and understanding to say, oh, snap. What the Israelites have been saying is true. We've been saying that damn near my whole tenure in the truth. And that's going on 28, almost 29 years now. Holding up signs out on the street corner saying America's going to be destroyed with a nuclear plume of smoke out there on the street corners, and people walking by talking about, are you crazy? That's BS. If you hate America so much, go back to Africa. Hearing all of that. And I guarantee you, if any of those people are still alive now, that stained memory, if they ever remember seeing us in Hollywood, seeing us in at Leimert Park, seeing us on various corners throughout the city, seeing us all the way down from San Diego all the way up until Oakland and Richmond. That's just in this state, all throughout the place. I'm talking about our camp, Sons of Jacob at the time, that we were out there saying the same thing. America's gonna be destroyed. People saying you're full of you know what. Now all of a sudden, people are saying America is destroyed, man. The moral fabric is gone, man. They letting us the LGBTQ community run everything. They got drag queens running the military now. Drag queens and sodomites is out here teaching the kids. They got devil worshiping going on over here. The economic structure is failing and is falling all over the place. Oh, and they're involved in multiple wars. They just had a plane crash over in DC or out the outskirts of DC. I may have been West Virginia, I think, wherever it landed. I can't recall off the top of my head. But if y'all remember, or if anybody's seen the story, there was a private jet that left from, I believe, Kentucky, and they were flying over to I think Virginia or somewhere like that. And the pilot, I don't know if it was a malfunction within the plane, they got up too high, whatever. Oxygen levels dropped. He passed out. The autopilot kicked in. They were trying to get him, get him to his landing spot, but the autopilot can't land. So obviously it said, well, we made it to the destination. I guess we're going back. Try to go back, and because of the coordinates was off, it ended up crashing. The U.S. government seen it and understood it. Took them 90 minutes to scramble out their F-16 jets to get over there and find out what happened. That's an hour and a half that you're saying a foreign invader or a foreign object or a foreign plane came into your stratosphere, came into your radar, and it took you an hour and a half. Do you know how much damage can be done in an hour and a half before you actually jump up and do something about it? Talking about whole lands could be destroyed, states being destructed. That's how you know, man, the weakening of America is upon us. Invasion can happen, but now we see they're not prepared. America's not prepared for major war offensives. So when them ICBM and them missiles get to hitting over here, if it's taking them an hour and a half to get set, and the missiles that can come from China and Russia only take 15 minutes to get over here, do the math. Do the math. So the weakening of this place is upon us. Everybody's seeing it. And this is all coming from the Most High. Let's look at this in Job 34. For his eyes are upon the ways of man, and he seeth all his goings. See, that's the ways of the Most High. The Most High said that his eyes are 10 times brighter than the sun. But the so-called white man with his God complex, with him setting up cameras everywhere and microphones everywhere and turning on your cameras on your phone and on your tablet and turning on the microphone on your computers and everything else, he wants to be in all your business because he wants to be like the Most High. As he says in Isaiah, the 14th chapter. But this is the Most High, Yahweh. He said his eyes are upon the ways of man, and he sees all his goings. So don't fret. The Most High sees all of the so-called white man's wickedness, all of the evils that he's done. He will pay for it. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. You reap what you sow. All of the above. The Most High is watching. Angels are taking notes. And this is his judgment. There is no darkness nor shadow of death where the workers of iniquity may hide themselves. There's no hiding for him. He's saying, well, I'm going to go 12 stories underground in a concrete bunker with all the amenities of home, and I'm just going to wait it out, and then I'll pop up like a groundhog and pop my head up out the damn hole and see is the coast clear and come back and think he's going to repopulate America. That's why he's over here trying to cryogenically store eggs so that he can repopulate. He's storing up the sperm banks. He's got the DNA, monopolizing the DNA companies. We see Ancestry.com got sent, got sold to an investment firm. I mean, if the SHTF hits the fan, that thing. Hits the fan. He think he's prepared to restart a whole new population. He thinks he can just come on back and everything's going to be good. No, no. The Most High said, there ain't nowhere you can hide. Continuing on, he said, for he will not lay upon man more than right that he should enter into the judgment with the Most High. He shall break in pieces mighty men without number and set others in their stead. See, that's how the Most High is going to do. The mighty men, man, the Russians, the Chinamen, you know, Iran, Iraq, you know, all these nations, man, that hold power, Saudi Arabia. The Most High said that he's going to break them in pieces without number. He said, man, without you don't ask about how many. And set others in their stead. Guess who the others are? Jacob is the end of the world. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. The Most High made declaration that he taketh down kings and setteth up kings. All power is in his hands. So the Most High said that these mighty men, we're seeing the mighty right now going to war. China and Taiwan, Russia and Ukraine, NATO, America and Russia. We see various nations in Europe going at it. You see them fighting over there in the Sudan. You see Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. They got the BRICS economy going. All these mighty nations, mighty men, man. The Lord said he's going to break them in pieces and set others in their stead, man. We're going to be set up in their stead, ruling. Continuing on, it says, therefore he knoweth their works, and he overturneth them in the night, so that they are destroyed. He striketh them as wicked men in the open sight of others. So what? We're going to see the destruction of the wicked. Lord willing, he striketh them as wicked men in the open sight of others. So we're going to see much of the destructions that happens. There's not going to be no pre-tribulation rapture Christians. You think you're going to get up out of here, man? You're just going to be transported up into the clouds, which you won't even acknowledge as being the chariots of the Most High or the quote unquote UFOs. You think there's just real like clouds that's going to suck you up and carry you off into the pearly gates, and you're not going to see any destruction. The Lord said the wicked is going to be destroyed in the sight of others. Verse 27, because they turned back from him and would not consider any of his ways. Well, who's that sounding? Man, Isaiah said, let favor be shown to the wicked, yet he will not learn righteousness. The Most High is fair. He gives everybody a chance, even the damn heathen and the wicked, the so-called white man. And people be looking at videos of Israelites, man, which, I could care less. I want it in the kingdom. I want it in righteousness. But if you get some Edomites, you see the videos, man, Jay's getting these Edomites hitting the dirt, kissing the boots. They're going to Isaiah, I believe it's 41 about, they're going to lick up the dust of your boots and all of that. But the Most High said that's just how it goes. Because they won't turn back. But see, when you give them an opportunity to turn back, what's the world say? Oh, this hate group, look at them manipulating and telling white folks to kill. The only way they can be saved is if you kiss their boots and all that. That's exactly what they're going to have to do. And they will do. But how many of them say, no, I'm not going to do that? How many of them run out there and make excuses, try to say why they shouldn't repent, why I shouldn't follow in alignment with the order and the structure that the Most High set up in the Bible, being that the children of Israel are set above all nations upon the face of the earth. The earth was made for our sakes. We were given law, statutes, and commandments to be a light unto the quote unquote Gentiles. We were given the law, statutes, and commandments, and they were to witness and say, this is a wise and understanding people. We should learn from them. We should follow after their ways. But they don't want that. They want everybody to be equal, which is really a misnomer, because as long as they say it's equal, we still have to look at the power structure, which is still ran by the so-called white man. So is it equal? No. So verse 27 is true. It says, why does this judgment have to happen to these people? Because they turned back from him and would not consider any of his ways. So why does the Most High have to allow this war to continue on, man? You got people running around here talking about how can we stop the war? We got to pray for Ukraine. The Pope is over there doing everything. They ain't gonna stop this thing, man. The Most High said that because the wicked is in control of the earth, man, and they don't want to do the right thing, well, then things got to go down. Things got to collapse. All right. So the war is what it is. Ukraine is now launching an offensive. We'll see how far that goes. NATO is doubling down as they're trying to act like, oh, we're not part of the war. We're showing our solidarity with Ukraine. But you know what's funny is Zelensky was out there making demands about a week or so ago, talking about he wants more support from NATO and he wants immediate acceptance into NATO. They already said we'll let you in, but don't rush us. Now he's talking about, man, you said we can come on in. Now we want fully in and we want nukes and we want everything. So what does NATO do? They say, listen, calm down, man. Let the little dude with the dirty green sweatshirt, man. Let him. We'll do some drills and we'll do some simulated attacks. So he knows that when it's time to go, we're gonna do that. But now we also see this is also leading up into and showing how a world war is coming before us. Where many nations are going to be involved. Right now, the perceived notion is that it's just between Russia and Ukraine. We know that that's not true. But eventually, we're going to see multiple nations involved in this war. Case in point, NATO. NATO's show of strength to Putin. Alliance prepares for its biggest ever Air Force drills over Europe. You know me, and you know what I always tell y'all. Anytime you see biggest ever, historical, unprecedented, you see those words, those are all things that indicate a new change in time. So people cannot say, oh, we've always seen this. Oh, it's been like this forever. Oh, stop trying to use the Bible and manipulate it into saying there's something that. No, this is different. North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, which has over 30 members, multiple countries, are now being told we're getting ready to run big time drills in Europe with 10,000 personnel from 25 nations responding to a simulated attack. So notice they're talking about a simulated attack and they're putting all these nations, all the NATO allied nations on alert. So when the so-called white man starts running drills and simulations, know that it always comes back on the back end. He's got these things lined up and planned. He's going to do them. The question is whether it's a false flag or is it a real attack? Because we know that he has no problem attacking himself and blaming somebody else in order to start something. So the biggest ever Air Force drills are happening in Europe very soon as they're preparing for an air attack. So we'll see when and if this happens. But we're talking about historical war preparations now are happening. Bigger than World War One, bigger than World War II. Well, what did Daniel tell us? What did Daniel tell us in Daniel 12 and 1? And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. Can I read that one more time? The great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. So the archangel Michael is standing up for who? Who's the children of thy people? The children of Israel. That's our defender. The archangel is there to watch over, bless, protect us, not everybody else, not the nations. He's there to fight the nations. He's there to be in opposition to anyone who poses a threat to the children of Israel. So what the hell is the Christian church and the Catholic Church talking about? The great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. So the time of trouble that's coming, it said it's going to be greater than anything that we've ever seen. We're seeing a time of trouble right now, even economically, such as never before. Why do we talk about that? Because guess what? You know, you could talk about and you could talk about depressions and economic collapses of different countries, from Germany to Zimbabwe to Haiti. These are individual countries, right? But when America starts falling, this becomes now a global situation. Why? Because the Great Whore is supplying merchantry, import, exports, um, sanctions to various nations and whatnot. The dollar is the global reserve currency. All nations are operating off of the dollar and its value. So if the dollar collapses, guess what? World economies collapse. That's never happened before in history. That's why all nations was on the tip of at the edge of their damn seats, wondering whether or not America was gonna get their act together in regards to the debt ceiling. Or was the dollar going to collapse? People are, all the nations are out here watching and wondering what's going to happen, because they're all fueled off of America. So when this place goes, everything goes. That's why Revelation 18 again says all the merchants going to be crying and weeping and moaning when this place starts collapsing and Babylon starts to falling. Because what's that mean for the rest of the world? The world is over with. That's just from the economic standpoint. Now we're talking about from a warfare standpoint. NATO's out here doing the biggest ever Air Force drill. So again, that goes back to establishing times such as never was since there was a nation even to that same time. So this is when we're seeing elements of historical prophecies happening, nations aligning themselves together. I mean, we've seen World War I, World War II, we've seen Vietnam, we've seen Afghanistan, we've seen Iraq, we've seen the Korean War. Right? We've seen all of the major, the wars that's been happening internally over there in Africa. We've seen wars happening over there in Europe, but not like this. Not like this. And it's slowly brewing. It's slowly brewing. Putin fuels World War III fears with nuclear weapons deployment to Belarus next month. See, this is why they're doing these drills. NATO's preparing for what? So Putin, in response to what NATO, America, and the Ukrainians are doing, drone attacks. They've already crossed over the border. You know, they're on this big spring offensive. Now Putin is recognizing, he's saying, look, these bastards won't let up. I've warned, I've told America, I've told NATO, stay in your lane. You guys have crossed the line. Remember last week, I read an article last week where it said slow Biden was pushing the line. That's what they say in the streets. You pushing the line on somebody, meaning you're imposing your will. You're trying to intimidate somebody, or you're standing firm on whatever you represent, and you're imposing that on others. So slow Biden is out there pushing the line of bordering of warfare negotiations that Putin said. Putin said them at, as soon as something hits on my side in Russia, I got every right to defend any way I want to. Stop sending weapons over here. Let them fight their own battles. No. America goes all out. So Putin is in response. He says, "Okay, well, we'll move these tactical nukes down to the Belarus border. Let's see if we can find a map so we can see where Belarus is." See, and his neighbors. How about this one? So here's Belarus right here. Russia's over here. They're moving nukes into here. These are all NATO aligned countries. Well, Ukraine ain't signed the paperwork yet. They ain't got them fully on board. But they said that they're moving these nukes down in here into these borders, right? So obviously, if these are NATO aligned countries, the threat now is these spots are going to be the first ones to get hit. So this is why they're scrambling, talking about we need to start doing major air drills in anticipation of a simulated attack on a NATO membered country. So all of those countries next to Belarus are NATO neighbored countries. Let's read this. Putin has used Belarus to position missiles perilously close to other European capitals several times already this year, and the latest deployment will begin after preparation of facilities from in early July. Vladimir Putin has once again stoked nuclear war worries after a meeting with close ally Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko saw the deployment of weapons penned in for next month. Putin has used Belarus to position missiles perilously close to other European capitals several times already this year. All right, we already read this part. But we see him moving nukes now closer. Nuclear capable weapons, tactical nukes now. Beforehand, we wasn't even really having this discussion. He was making bluffs. He was talking about, hey, I got this Satan 2 missile. I got all kind of things lined up. Don't mess with me. And now we're seeing actually the moving of these things. Okay. So now the nukes are being moved and being positioned for possible deployment. So things are getting closer. Let's continue on. Cuba, the whole secret Chinese spy base focusing on the U.S. So China, remember last week we looked at China doing all kind of things within America, pushing America's buttons, trying to provoke America to do something. Remember we seen they had the secret police base over there in New York. They had tourists, Chinese spies dressed up as tourists over there in Alaska, trying to get over to the military base. Now they're utilizing Cuba to host a spy base, focusing in on the U.S. They already got TikTok that America's been thinking about banning because it's Chinese technology, and they're saying that it's being used as a spy base to get information from quote unquote American citizens. I wonder how many of the damn people in the government got TikTok on their phones. That's what they're really worried about. They ain't worried about, Tanisha and Jerome doing TikTok dances in the house. They ain't got nothing they worried about. They worried about all the damn government agents that got TikTok on their phones and what could be on their phones that they could actually snatch up. So we see the spy games continuing. Remember last time back in the 50s and 60s, the Cold War, when Russia utilized Cuba as a place to host, and they was going to set up military bases and get the missiles cracking over there, which led America to sanctioning and lining up embargoes on Cuba and shutting them down. All the way to the point right now, man, Cuba's all jacked up still. They still driving cars from the 50s over there because they can't get access to anything new. And they got the socialist government. The government runs everything, but when the government runs out of money and they can't get nothing cracking, the people suffer. Right? So what do they use? They got to go out and get some help from China. They got to get help from Russia. So look at this. Beijing agrees to pay Havana several $1 billion for eavesdropping facility. So what do you think America's going to do about that, man? If they had a problem and established a Cold War and the Bay of Pigs and all that other stuff back in the 50s and the 60s, looking at foreign quote unquote communist nations that were impeding on getting close to a war tactics of bombing America, they went all out. So now China is paying off the Cuban government so that they can get over there and start setting up eavesdropping and spying facilities to spy out the liberties of America. You think America's going to have a problem with that? I would think so. So let's see. China and Cuba have reached a secret agreement. It's a secret, but meanwhile, the Washington Post got it. I mean, the Wall Street Journal's got it. How's it a secret? You know. So I gotta be careful with some of these things. But anyway, China and Cuba have reached a secret agreement for China to establish an electronic eavesdropping facility on the island in a brash new geopolitical challenge by Beijing to the U.S., according to U.S. officials familiar with highly classified intelligence. They even have what they call the Havana syndrome, which was, basically, in my estimation, in my opinion, it was technology used for the microwave towers of the cell towers and all of that. They turned them on to a different frequency, and it was jacking up many of the government agents that was over there in Havana, and they was getting sick and dizzy and got symptoms of vertigo and all kind of stuff, and they were calling it the Havana syndrome, and it was all based upon the technology. Let me share that with y'all in case y'all don't remember or don't know what I'm talking about. See, Havana syndrome is a cluster of idiopathic symptoms experienced mostly abroad by U.S. government officials and military personnel. The symptoms range in severity from pain and ringing in the ears to cognitive dysfunction and were first reported in 2016 by U.S. and Canadian embassy staff in where? Havana, Cuba. Havana, Cuba. See? And, this is all based upon invisible, as what's the guy name? Not William Cooper, Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. Bill Cooper got put to death, the author of Behold a Pale Horse. I believe he had a chapter in that book called Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. And these are the type of things they got going on, man. Invisible weapons that can jack you up. But where were they getting found? Canadian and U.S. military officials always getting hit with this in Cuba. And now Cuba's saying, hey, we're going to go help the Chinese. Eavesdrop on what's going on over there in America. Gathering intelligence for the upcoming war. China thinks they got next. China wants to, come in and try to be the next world power. They want in, but they have to co-op with these other nations. They got to co-op with other nations. So let's continue on. An eavesdropping facility in Cuba, roughly 100 miles from Florida, would allow Chinese intelligence services to scoop up electronic communications throughout the southeastern U.S., where many military bases are located, and monitor U.S. ship traffic. Officials familiar with the matter said that China has agreed to pay cash-strapped Cuba several $billion to allow it to build an eavesdropping facility. Hold on one second. I'm seeing there's a little discussion going on in this chat. Hey, Jay August. I'm not sure the whole conversation that's going on, man, but if we're arguing about what the name of the Most High is, and you're missing the information that I'm putting out right now, you're in the wrong place, bro. You're in the wrong place. Everything that I'm going over right now in regards to end time prophecy, the destruction of this place, judgment happening to you, me, and the rest of the earth, this ain't the place to be arguing about how to say the Most High's name. There's bigger fish to fry out here, brother. So let's not do that. All right? All love. Appreciate you. Let's get back to the content of what's really important here. All right? Let me get back. Shalaki, y'all. Yeah, well, I appreciate that, brother. But guess what? Let's get these commandments right first. Let's make sure we're keeping the laws right. Let's make sure we're fearing the Most High right. That's the only way we're gonna get right first. How to pronounce his name? There's plenty of people that know how to pronounce his name, and they still wicked as hell. Our people knew how to say the Most High's name back in the day and still got cursed. So let's just keep things in proper perspective, bro. This ain't the platform for debate right now. Let's focus in on what's really going to be happening. But we want to argue about the Most High's name or how to say His name, and all hell is breaking loose on the earth. Let's continue on. Now, stunning UFO crash retrieval allegations are deemed credible and urgent. So this is interesting because not only was there a whistleblower that came out talking about a stunning, he's talking about that he's got credible evidence that they've actually received, that America's got crash sites excavated. They've got the quote unquote aliens stored away, all this other stuff, right? And of course, the media is going to utilize this as a situation to where this is going to be used as propaganda to try to make sure that people are following along with the narrative of there's an alien force is going to come out and it's going to be a detriment to the earth. And the superpowers of America have to come together, like the Avengers, to stop this alien force coming in. That's how they're going to play this whole thing up. Remember Trump with Space Force? Yeah, Space Force. Uh, let's see what the website says. Look at this. Our mission is to defend our future. The U.S. Space Force protects our country and the freedom to operate in space, keeping it secure, stable, and accessible for military space power and new waves of innovation. When our enemies ask, what if, we will have an answer. So, when the question is, what if an alien force comes in? What if there's a meteor? What if alien? See, and this is all works from the guy that's getting indicted. This guy. They got the badges and everything. United States Space Force. And most of this is they're talking about, part of this is talking about dealing with any alien threats. Let's see. What is let's see if Wikipedia got anything. We'll see. I don't really mess with them too much, but let's see. I wanted to see if I could find the direct information and talked about part of them. Part of this was being assembled for uh, alien threats. They also had a Star Wars program, which was part of the Defense Initiative. Yeah, here we go. This is what they said was for. Here's a Star Wars program. So they got the Space Force and Star Wars. The Strategic Defense Initiative, derisively nicknamed the Star Wars program, was a proposed missile defense system intended to protect the United States from an attack by ballistic strategic nuclear weapons, intercontinental continental ballistic missiles, and submarine-launched ballistic missiles. The concept was announced on March 23rd, 1983 by President Ronald Reagan, a vocal critic of the doctrine of mutually assured destruction, which he described as a suicide pact. Reagan called upon American scientists and engineers to develop a system that could render nuclear weapons obsolete. Elements of the program reemerged in 2019 with the Space Development Agency. So, he's um, obsessed with space. He's obsessed with the final frontier, all of those things. See, this utilizing sensors and lasers and weapon concepts, particle beams. He's trying to create all these things so that he can, deal with a quote unquote device or threat that's coming from outside. So the stunning UFO crash retrieval allegations are deemed credible and urgent. So you had a whistleblower, man. He pops out and he's laying it all on the table about how, aliens exist and we got to be very careful dealing with what the so-called white man says in regards to aliens. We know exactly who and what the Bible speaks of, but it ain't what he does. He always puts a twist on things. Again, when he speaketh fair, believe him not, because there's 7 abominations in his heart. So let's look at this. According to explosive reporting, the powerful internal investigation body that oversees the nation's intelligence agencies found a whistleblower's claims of an illegal government UFO crash retrieval and exploitation effort to be credible and urgent. To eliminate potential ambiguity regarding such an extraordinary development, a knowledgeable source confirmed to me that the intelligence community inspector general found allegations that there was a UFO crash retrieval program to be urgent and credible. So they've been talking about this since the Roswell days. I mean, they're constantly putting out all of these different movies and all these things from Star Wars to Avengers to everything else. Remember the first Avengers? There was a alien invasion that came through a portal that ended up all being the armies of Thanos, and they came in. They was trying to destroy the Earth, and Earth's mightiest Avengers, mightiest heroes, the Avengers, had to assemble to fight off this threat, right? So in the same thing, the so-called white man is going to say, well, when this credible threat comes in, we're going to have to assemble all the nations. That's where you get the Valley of Jehoshaphat and so forth and so on. Revelations 12, I think, at Second Ezra, I want to say the 5th chapter, is talking about the nations dropping everything and coming together because they're going to try to fight Yahweh Shai and Michael the angels and, thinking that they're going to end up winning in the end. But before that, you got to put it in everybody's mind that there's an enemy threat that's coming over here, same way that they did with 9/11. Remember that? For those that remember 2001? There was a foreign threat that they called the Arabs and Al Qaeda, and they wanted to end America's freedoms. Remember that? And then after you see Fahrenheit 9/11 and all these other documentaries and all this other stuff, and weapons of mass destruction were never found, and Saddam Hussein was to blame. They went and hung him and killed him. He didn't have nothing to do with it. The second in command, Al Qaeda, had dinner with George Bush the next day. You start seeing all of these things. Uh, you start seeing all these things. Uh, See, they starting to scrub this stuff away, man. There was, but I got the article some in my files. But hold on one second. I just want to see if they still got this. Yeah, here we go. See, Al Qaeda leader dined at the Pentagon just months after 9/11. So he was supposed to be the enemy, right? Why is he having dinner at the Pentagon after 9/11? Why is he invited to the supper? He got invited to the barbecue. How'd that happen? If he was supposed to be, next to Bin Laden, I mean, he's top ranking. He's supposed to be got put to death, but he going over here having dinner, hanging out. But he's one of the ones that's supposed to be responsible, right? See what I'm trying to help everybody see and understand and know, which y'all are very intelligent. Y'all know what time it is, right? And we see that all of a sudden they want to create a threat and say that these people, that Al Qaeda and everybody, they want to threaten the freedoms of America. Remember that? And they monopolized and they was selling everybody them American flags and telling everybody we're one, never forget, we got to come together and all that other stuff. And then they had everybody believing that the credible threat was over there in the Middle East, man, and let's bomb the hell out of them and the hell with every Arab, and anybody that was wearing a turban or a mitri was a terrorist. So the same thing they're doing right now, man. They out here utilizing propaganda, fictitious stories, man. They're utilizing um, uh, agent provocateurs, man, disinformation. The green men with big heads and big eyes, and sharp teeth are coming down to come to get you, right? So let's see what else is going on. Beyond this stunning revelation, the whistleblower, a former high level intelligence official, is represented by a lawyer who served previously as the intelligence community's first inspector general, a Senate confirmed position. The managing partner of the law firm representing the whistleblower reportedly co signed the complaint submitted to the current intelligence community inspector general. As noted in the legal analysis, no lawyer, let alone two high caliber attorneys, would sign such an extraordinary document without, quote, very credible source material. So they're saying that no lawyer would ever represent anybody unless they had credible source material to stand in defense of a person's statements. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of lawyers out there who are taking the case for money and they have no problem fabricating, creating, getting witnesses, lying testimonies, and all kind of stuff just for the fact that they want clout, money, and whatever else. But they're saying that no lawyer is going to touch this unless they got evidence. And there's been plenty of quote unquote whistleblowers that's been running around, military intelligence that's been talking about them seeing aircrafts flying throughout the spaces of America. Now, do the chariots exist? Absolutely. That's scriptural. But how they're trying to create this whole scenario is much more of a distractionary method because there's bigger things brewing under under the uh, under the guise of America, right? UFO and large alien creatures reported in Las Vegas, and police took it seriously. Did anybody see this? Did y'all see this? There was a video and a report. Um, and I just seen it a few days ago, right? The question is, hold on 1 second. So Jay August. I'm not exactly sure, bro. What your objective is here, but if you need a platform to take, YouTube will allow you to create your own platform, bro. Very easily. If you want to teach, you want to jump over, this ain't the place. So I'm gonna ask you one more time. Just before you said things was peace, so don't be disingenuous and don't find yourself in contempt of the law in regards to defrauding or lying to your brother by saying peace, peace, I'm cool. But meanwhile, you're arguing with different brothers in the chat and flooding the chat with who's not about to work, and you can make UFOs come out. Not exactly sure, brother, what your objective is, but do me a favor. Do me a favor. Go start your own channel and go build. No. There has to be an agreement of building. You're not building upon what I'm talking about. And if you think you're lifting us up, you're doing nothing but causing distractions. And now you've got me off of the path of which I was going on. So if we haven't agreed to build, then it might not be a place for you. Okay, shalom. So I shouldn't see no more comments from you since you said shalom. All right. So let's continue on. So did y'all see this? There's a video out there that says UFO and large alien creatures reported in Las Vegas and police took it seriously. Now, the question is look at this. It says it was around midnight on April 30th when a Las Vegas family reported something crashed in their backyard and there were big creatures on board. Now, see, apparently Jay August, man, he likes to push buttons. You know, 1 minute he's saying shalom, now he's coming back saying we're not getting saved. All right, Jay, I'm going to help you with your shalom. I'm going to put you on timeout. You come back acting crazy again, I got to block you. So it says here that this story happened in April 30th. How is it now in June that they're letting this story out? Why did they wait over a month to put this out there? What else was going on? Why were they? My bad, y'all. Why did they wait? In order for this to come out? Yeah, Malik, I think you wanted something. We'll see what they're doing. It's a cover up for something going on. But if I didn't put the video on here because I got other stuff already got thrown off. Now I got to continue on and double back, man. I don't want to take up too much more time. So I got another class to teach later on today. But nonetheless, UFO and large alien creatures were reported in Las Vegas. Right? There's a video. There's a report. It's a little. I believe it's a Hispanic family that said that they seen and even on the so-called police dash cam, they seen a large light crash somewhere in Vegas, right? Lil 10 Tribe Cap, man, he's talking about the whole situation. He played a ring camera where you hear it, an explosion, the sound like a crash. Uh, he goes in his backyard. There's first to start out, it's an 8-foot alien. Then it's a 10-foot alien that's skinny with big head and big eyes. And when he looked at it, it froze him. And he, said this is all real. It's not for clout. Police pull up. They talking about, asking people around. I know this might sound crazy, but did you guys see an alien around here? Did you see it? I mean, some real foolishness. And then at the end of the video, the cops are saying, hey, if you guys see an alien, 10-foot alien, don't call us. You handle it yourself. And everybody's laughing. Then the kid said in the video after the police left, they went in the house and prayed. I mean, at what point in time are you praying after you just laughed about a joke about a 10-foot alien that's in your house? And in the age of everything getting caught on film, I mean, who doesn't have their phone out nowadays? Nobody caught this on film. Nobody got this on camera. But all of a sudden now, uh, at the prime time where you should be able to see anything on film because everybody got a phone in hand or on their pockets, nobody got this on film. Where was the alien wreckage in your backyard? That's nowhere to be found. So apparently, this is some BS. Okay, this is just some BS. Just as a Disclaimer. Let's look at a couple scriptures, man, so we can show that do chariots exist? Are there uh vehicles that the Bible describes as flying vehicles? Absolutely. So let's look at Exodus 13. Oops. Exodus 13. Let's read 21, 22. Since after the children of Israel departed from Egypt, they were being led by what? Let's look at this. Exodus 13, 21, 22. It says, and the Most High Yahweh went before them by day in a pillar of cloud. So in the daytime, it was a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light to go by day and night. So there was a moving cloud, and at night it's a pillar of fire. So even when you see the description that the so-called white man's putting out there, flying saucers and looking like cigars and everything else, that ain't what the scriptures say. When at night, they look like fire. They look like light. Okay, which we've seen. You just got to be kind of cautious of what's real and what isn't. The so-called white man would tell you, "Oh, they're flying saucers. They look like dinner plates and metal." No. So this thing is moving and being a guide for the children of Israel to be led up out of Egypt into the Sinai Peninsula. Verse 22, it says, he took not away the pillar of cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people. So this pillar remained. Let's look at another one. Look at Psalms 104. Well, let's read verse 3. Well, we'll read down 1 to 3. It says, bless the Lord, O my soul. O Yahweh, my power, thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty. Who coverest thyself with light as with a garment, who stretcheth out the heavens like a curtain, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariots. So the waters are talking about the heavens, the Shemayim, or the Shemayim, right? Those are the waters. It says, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. So the chariot obviously was a method of transportation during those days. So in the eyes of the prophets, what they looked at as a method of transportation in the skies, it said these chariots or these transporting vehicles move in the clouds and they walk upon the wings of the wind, meaning what? They fly, they flew. Okay. Let's look at another one. No, I'm sorry. Not Jeremiah. Isaiah 19. Isaiah 19 and 1 says, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Most High rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. So we're going to see all of this happen in the near future. America being modern day Egypt. This thing is going to be taken down, but it said the transportation coming in on a swift cloud, they're going to be coming in fast and furious. That's when you see those jet fighters and all that who's getting on their radars and saying they can't keep up, and the different directions that they're moving and the angles that they're able to turn, and they can't get it focused in on the camera because they move so swift, man. The technology is well beyond what the so-called white man, well beyond what the white man can do. Okay, so that's another one. Let's look at another one in Revelation. It's talking about Yahweh Shai. It says, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, letting it be known that they which also pierced him, they're still here on the earth. They're going to be here to settle with final judgment. Evidences of regeneration, right? It says, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so, amen. It says, all kindreds of the earth shall wail. Did it say they're going to be rejoicing? They're going to be happy? Why not? If Christianity says everybody's going to be saved and everybody can come on in, he's coming back to save the world. Why are they wailing? Every eye is going to see him, even they which pierced him. Now it said he's coming with clouds. That's with an S. That's multiple, right? Psalm 68:17, it says, the chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai in the holy place. It says, as in Sinai. So that lets you know that those clouds, that cloud, that chariot, he said, the Lord is there just like he was in Sinai. Cloud by day, fire by night. It said 20,000 with even thousands of angels. So you're talking like 200 million of these things, right? Let me get one more. Acts 1. I think I want 11. Yeah. So let's look at this. Acts 1 and 11. Well, actually, verse 8, we'll read down to 11. It says, but ye shall receive power. After that, the Holy Spirit is come upon you. And ye shall be witnesses unto me, both in Jerusalem and in Judea and in Samaria, and unto the uttermost parts of the earth. So when the Holy Spirit was to descend upon the disciples, the Lord said that they were to go out and witness, go out to teach, go out to represent the faith of Christ and the laws in both Jerusalem, in the southern kingdom, and in Samaria, the northern kingdom, and the uttermost parts of the earth. Why? Because we're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Verse 9. And when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. Oh, so he got beamed up. It says, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. Verse 10. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushua, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall also come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. So when Yahushua returns, it said that he's going to return the same way that he got taken up. He said, you men in Galilee, why you gazing up into heaven? You acting like you ain't seen this before. He said the same way he was taken up into heaven, he's going to return in the same manner. Right? So, that's where Star Wars, no, is it Star Wars? No. Not Star Wars. What's the other cast, man? Star Trek. That's where they get the concepts of beam me up, Scotty. The transformation of the bodies from one place to another. We know Elijah was taken up in a cloud, up into a cloud through a whirlwind of fire. So these are all things that are real. They're all biblical. But the so-called white man, he takes them and manipulates them. So let's see what else we got going on and why they wait. April 30th, this whole thing went down. All of a sudden now it's becoming a viral story a month and some change later. Why they wait so long before they started publicizing this? And how come they said in the video that the police couldn't release the body cam footage because it was considered private property? What? At what point in time do they not have cameras everywhere? And it doesn't matter where the damn cops are at. They're filming on private property all the time when they go into somebody's house, knocking on the door, serving search warrants when they're going to businesses and establishments. It's private property all the time when they're driving around. But all of a sudden, this one they can't show because, it's private property. We can't show you what we seen in the backyard and all of that, man. Give me a break. Give me a break. All right, let's continue. Now we can let's start looking at things that why we can see evidences of a cover up, or why are they trying to distract everybody, because the things that have came out now are starting to show there's some folly going on all throughout the earth, and the white man's behind all of it. Look at this. U.S. had intelligence of a detailed Ukrainian plot. Let me read that again. U.S. had intelligence of a detailed Ukrainian plan to attack the Nord Stream pipeline. Remember that pipeline? They got blew up. America was quick to say, we don't know what happened. We don't know who did what. It wasn't us. The Russians said, no, it was America did it. The Ukrainians said, we don't know who did it. Nobody knows, right? Oh, but guess what? Just this Tuesday, this past Tuesday, they decided to come out and say Oh, we actually did have intelligence of a detailed Ukrainian plan to attack the Nord Stream pipeline. We seen slow Biden say, if Russia attacks Ukraine, the Nord Stream pipeline is out of here. We seen Victoria Nuland say the same thing. So they talked about it damn near 8 months before it happened. Then it happens. Then they say, well, we don't know what happened. This is strange. This is weird. Who did it? We don't know. Ukrainians are saying it wasn't us. We didn't do it. Oh, the Russians did it to themselves. That was the first thing they said. Oh, the Russians did it to themselves. And now we see, oh, actually, you did have intelligence and you knew the Ukrainians was behind it. So you corroborated a lie. And then meanwhile, you sat back and allowed this thing to go down and then lied and said, we don't know what happened. Oh, guess what? The information's coming out. Let's throw out some alien stories. Let's throw out some balloons and spy balloons. Let's go throw out all these damn distractions so that we can, let's let the LGBTQ hordes of our little demonic hordes of perversion, man. Let's let them run wild in the streets. Let's make sure that everybody, is focusing on other things besides the folly that's happening within America. Then guess what? Oh, the dam blew up. And of course, they're going to say, we don't know who did that. Ukrainians saying, no, it wasn't us. It was the Russians. The Russians saying, no, it's the Ukrainians. Another thing is blown up. All of a sudden, they're trying to shift the blame. Watch later on down the line, they're going to say, oh, guess who did it? Dam blew up, unleashing floods and threatening Ukrainian nuclear plant. Huge waves of water could be seen flooding the war zone after a Soviet-era dam and hydroelectric power station in Ukraine was blown up. Mass evacuations forced residents out of their homes amid fears of a widespread flood devastation. President Volodymyr Zelensky said that the attack on the critical Kakhovka Dam was carried out by Russia. Ukraine described it as an act of ecocide. So he doesn't have no proof, no nothing. He just says the Russians did it. Same way they said they blew up their own pipeline. And meanwhile, it was just the reverse. Russia likely feared that the Ukrainian army would have used a road along the top of the dam for its counteroffensive. Video from what appeared to be monitoring the camera purported to show a number of explosions around the dam, which is in a Russian-controlled section of the eastern Ukraine, while other clips show the water cascading downstream through what was left of the 2-mile-long barrier. So, dam gets blown up, shifting the blame. Nobody knows what happens. Distract everybody so that we can continue on with, lining up more invasions and more plans of destruction between NATO, Ukraine, America, so forth and so on. But just continue blaming the Russians. Well, let's see what else is going on. Journalists are asking Ukrainian soldiers to hide their Nazi patches. The New York Times admits, oh, I thought these were good guys over there. I thought everybody was so nice and kind and loving. You telling me that Nazi symbols are on the what? And the New York Times is purporting this? Well, we know that that's the truth because look how they was treating those Nigerian students and them, the black folks that was over there going to school and had little jobs over there. They was shutting them down and not allowing them to cross the borders into Poland into safety. They was getting blocked out of lines, not allowed to get on the buses and on the trains before the white folks. Oh, but there's no, all of the talk that Putin was over there talking about he's doing some Nazi cleansing. He wants to get rid of the Nazis and all the other stuff. And they saying he's lying. This is crazy. Now the New York Times got to even come out and admit it. So this is all the stuff that's popping up. But as long as they can dig up a UFO or alien backyard, some drunk aliens crashed the damn ship in somebody's backyard and popped out. And you can't find it. You can't find the spacecraft. And they somehow disappeared as soon as he called the police. I mean, come on. So the New York Times has been forced to very, very belatedly deal with something which had been long obvious and known to many independent analysts and media outlets, but which has been carefully shielded from the mainstream masses in the West for obvious reasons. Hello? Being carefully shielded from mainstream masses. The surprising Monday Times headline said that Nazi symbols on Ukraine's front lines highlight thorny issues of history. So, what else are they ever? At what point in time are people going to say, "Hey, guess what? Maybe what Putin was saying was true. Maybe we need to go ahead on and you know, fall back on regards to our opinions about this war, man. Maybe you should just mind your damn business." So-called blacks and Hispanics, man, is over here trying to stand with Ukraine and got your little flags out and all that. Maybe you need to just fall back and shut up and let Esau destroy themselves, man. Because the more the truth comes out, man, now people got to sit back and eat crow, as my brother Shalak would say. So the Western media and the mainstream masses are scrambling around trying to throw out other distractions to keep people tied away from real things that's happening over there. So what else is hidden? Oh well, let's indict Trump again. Let's throw some more charges on him. So the Trump indictment, live updates, ex-president faces legal and political battles. Donald Trump has become the first U.S. president, former or otherwise, to be indicted on federal criminal charges. First time. They always trying to line him up for something. Trump announced in Thursday's night post on his Truth Social platform that prosecutors had notified his attorneys he'd been indicted. NBC News confirmed soon after that he faces 7 charges. They included making false statements and conspiracy to obstruct. Trump lawyer James Trusty told CNN on Thursday the charges also include willfully retaining documents in violation of the Espionage Act, he said. So they trying to shut him down. They want Trump gone for like 100 years. They said, I think they said 4 of the charges alone carry 20 years. So he's damn near facing 100 years. You add up all the rest of the charges. So they laying out the gambit, trying to make him the focus again. Anytime they trying to hide something, man, they always pull the quote unquote Trump card. No pun intended. Because they know that that's going to get everybody paying attention and wondering what's going on. And they trying to rile up his little nationalist sympathizers to try to, be there for him. So let's see what else is up. Trump loses 2 lawyers just hours after being indicted. See, now you see his lawyers already jumped ship. So they trying to bury it. They told and they got one of his aides too. It was him and one of his aides. The lawyer said, "We don't want no parts of this, man. We're out of here." So let's look at this. A second. What is it? Ecclesiastes 6. And let's read 7. And this is just a lesson for us to know. He's got these long-standing lawyers that were supposedly standing by him and all of that, right? But what ended up happening? As soon as it got a little deep, man, they bailed out on him. But this is why the Most High told us in regards to friendships, relationships, alliances, whatever the case may be, the Most High said everything has to be proven. Because otherwise, this could happen. Ecclesiastes 6, let's read 7. If thou wouldest get his friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. So the Most High said, man, if you get a friend, we all have to prove one another in order to be called a quote unquote friend. We can't act like this elementary school, man. You met, one of your met somebody at elementary school. You remember how it was when you was a kid? Some kid, you sat down next to you, man. Y'all talking. He gave you his apple. Y'all eating and all that, man. After the week, oh, that's my best friend. Sisters, man, y'all do the same thing, man. Y'all meet a sister through another sister. Y'all hanging out, and 3 months down the line, oh, that's my girl. That's my B. Oh, yeah. And before you know it, she done laid with your man. Because there's no proving anymore. There's no stipulations and standards of friendship no more, man. Everybody trying to go along to get along. Everybody. Most I said, man, if you're going to get a friend, man, prove him for. If he's to be declared a friend, you can have associates. You can have, working relationship, whatever the case may be. But if you have someone who is quote unquote a friend, the Most I said, you're going to go through some things. You're going to be proven one to another to be that loyal friend. The Most High said, man, if you got a good friend, he said, man, you're not supposed to let that one go because he's been proven to be loyal to you, and vice versa. So he got these lawyers, man, as soon as they caught some heat, they said, man, we're out of here. Verse 8, it says, for some man is a friend for his own occasion and will not abide in the day of trouble. And there is a friend who, being turned to enmity and strife, will discover thy reproach. Again, some friend is a companion at the table and will not continue in the day of thy affliction. But in thy prosperity, he will be as thyself and be bold over thy servant. So when everything's good and the lawyers is getting paid, who knows how much every hour to represent him? You know, they're getting the fame, they're getting everything's good. But hey, when things go bad, they're out of there. Right? And that happens to many of us in our lives. You got men, you declare friends, sisters, you declare friends, and this, that, and the third, man. Things go down and you start seeing the true nature of people. And then you're like, oh, okay. Lessons to be learned as we're growing into more maturity of understanding how to deal with one another as brothers and sisters, man. But the Most High gave us guidelines on establishing relationships and friendships. Verse 12, it says, if thou be brought low, he will be against thee and will hide himself from thy face. Verse 13, separate thyself from thy enemies and take heed of thy friends. Verse 14, a faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that hath found such and one hath found a treasure. Nothing doth countervail a faithful friend, and his excellency is invaluable. A faithful friend is the medicine of life, and they that fear the Most High shall find him. So if you continue on reading, I'm not going to continue on reading, but this is worthwhile wisdom in establishing relationships and friendships and standing in solidarity with one another as brothers and sisters in the spirit of Yahweh Shai and the Most High. You know, it's got to be proven, man. But then you see here, I mean, these guys are on the payroll. And I'm sure they consider themselves friends of Trump. But these dudes bailed out. Jim Trusty and John Rowley. Look at the name, Jim Trusty. Can you trusty Jim? No, you can't trust Jim Trusty. Ironic name. Announced they resigned. Meanwhile, the Trump aide also has been indicted according to Trump. They don't want no parts of this, man. They're out of there. All right. Let's continue. So, we know what's happening with the wildfires. A visual guide to Canada wildfires and U.S. smoke pollution. There are more than 400 fires burning across Canada, with many out of control, and smoke travels south. It is prompting air quality alerts in the U.S. So, just looking at this from a objective perspective, like I've been talking with Brother Bayan. He over there in Detroit, starting to get the smokes coming on over there. We was kind of going back and forth a little bit, talking about theories about what could be going on. And I told him, I said, I'm a little desensitized to the fires because we get it all the time out here in Cali, but not like this. Most of the fires that happen out here, they're usually up north, 200 miles away from us in the city. They're always hitting up Calabasas, getting all these Edomites out the way, right? But there has been a couple in times past where smoking the ash makes it all the way down to us. But never to the point of what we're seeing over there in New York, Philly, DC. In particular, New York. They said that New York at one point had the worst air quality in the world, clocking in for that day. How is it worse in New York than it was actually where the fire was? Orange plumes of smoke, man, a cloud, the whole damn air quality control couldn't get the planes out. I mean, there's all kind of madness going on. And then you're hearing about people's testimony saying it's smelling like not only burned wood, but chemical and all kind of stuff. And people getting headaches and nausea and all kind of madness. So know that after this, because they're telling everybody, oh, get your mask out. Make sure that you're prepared, don't go outside if you can't. Well, people are already used to that treatment because of the couple of years ago, we were told you can't go outside. Put a mask on, Not saying that these fires aren't real, There was a quote unquote theory about arson or that it being, man made. But of course, the white man says it's because of global warming. Global warming did this. Is that right? Well, my greatest answer to that is one thing. First of all, uh Sirach 39, 28, 29. So the white man always got it's global warming, man. No, we can't deny it now. Verse 28. Sirach 39, 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. What's one of these spirits? Fire. And hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Now, very interesting that we're talking about that because the white man's talking about it's it's global warming. Now, look at this. California's coldest June in years. Here's what to expect. This is 3 days ago. The June temperature outlook from the weather company and its partner Atmospheric G2 shows a cooler than normal start to the summer in areas of the Southwest and in above average temperatures. And they're going to say somewhere else. But if we're talking about global warming, how is California having its coldest June in years? If everything's supposed to be heating up. Now, granted, it was 125 degrees in Puerto Rico a few days ago. That was record heat. They said that was damn near felt like Saudi Arabia. So we know that the so-called white man is doing weather manipulation. We also seeing here hail. Sister sent me a text and a little video the other day in Pensacola, Florida, rain and hail in June. And the white man's talking about global warming is affecting everything. How is it raining and hail in Florida? We're having the coldest June in California. Puerto Rico's got 125 degrees one day. Canada's saying that now they're saying it's global warming because of everything getting heated up. I mean, if you don't knock it off with the foolishness, man, this is how you know the so-called white man is a damn liar. Y'all don't know about it. Do some research about this. Geoengineering, weather modification, HARP. Look up these things. Some of y'all may have already are onto it. All good. I've talked about these things before, so I'm not gonna do it again. Here's HARP, High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. This is all about weather manipulation. They utilize this technology in China. They've utilized it in the Middle East. The so-called white man has created technology to create uh, uh, weather weapons, so to speak, right? And meanwhile, all he's got to do is come up with this whole new concept called global warming and say that's the reason. It's not me doing anything. I'm not utilizing technology to manipulate the weather and do all this foolishness. Yeah, right. Again, brother said it rained and hailed, and y'all in Jacksonville. She's in Pensacola. So yeah, y'all must experience the same things. You understand? So white man says it's global warming though. And meanwhile, you got the air alerts, everybody jacked up, chemicals getting burnt, trees getting burned, everything's going on. 400 fires are burning all across Canada, and it's swathing down into America. Very interesting. And if we look at where it started from, Let's see if we can see a little map. Let's see all up in here. See that's just down here. So it's spread all the way from New York, all the way down to Washington, Pittsburgh, Louisville, uh, North Carolina. But I want another map that's showing where to start in Quebec. Here's another one. It's sweeping all the way. It started up in here, I believe is like where Quebec is. It started up in here, and all of a sudden it's just spreading all over the place. Ironically, you see the cities, overcast. Y'all seen the pictures, y'all seen the videos. I'm not telling. Look at this. Does that look like that's just from smoke? I don't know. But obviously, with the mix of all the other chemicals and industrial things that's getting put out in these states, man, they ain't no joke. But you see the people, he's still coming out. He throwing his mask on. You got to take the dogs out. And they said that the ash and the thing and the chemicals in the air are so microscopic, they're smaller and thinner than a thread of hair. All you gotta do is inhale them, man. And once that hits, it's a wrap. So most I said it. That's a good one, Malik. That's a good one. I got to post that one up. Brother said, man, flaming month of June, Pride Month. That's right. Literally. Not only do the damn sodomites proclaim themselves to be flaming, but the Most High is giving them real flames too, man. Good one. Good one. Let's continue. Now, look at this. Here's another one that they're sliding under the radar. When he throws out these distractions, man, best believe that he's got something cooking underneath. So the World Health Organization body calls for a quote simulation to prep for the next global health crisis. So they're already acknowledging that there will be a next global health crisis, and they want to run simulations. Well, look no further than Event 201. What's the other one? Crimson Contagion. There's another one that the Rockefellers had. They had multiple simulations that was being ran for a pandemic health crisis. And before you know it, boom, here they come. You have Fauci in 2018, or was it 2017, talking about that there was going to be a global pandemic under Donald Trump. Lo and behold, there it was. So now the World Health Organization, they're calling for a simulation, but not only that, they're trying to impose a whole new system that nations will need to. And I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Some of y'all may remember, don't remember, or may have, run over your heads. But the WHO is calling for global control of nations for the next pandemic, meaning that they have the rights to impose all the laws, all the precautions, everything else, and nations are signing on an agreement saying you can control it. The U.S. has already been involved in it. Who else was it? I think Great Britain and one other country were already on board saying yes. Let the WHO call the shots, and we're going to enforce it. So when it comes down to the next lockdown, to the next mask, to the next 6 feet, to the next quarantine, to the next force feeding of treatments, they're already on board, and they're saying the next one's coming. As 194 nations continue to work through the drafts of the pandemic agreements that would grant more authority to the WHO, the Global Preparedness Monitoring Board, a body convened by the WHO, was called for a worldwide, not local, worldwide, and this is how they start assembling things into a new world order. They have to do global events, same way they want to say, oh, the aliens are coming, it's going to be a global threat. They want to stop our way of life. We got to stop them. So what they want? Everybody to rally together. Oh, here comes the next pandemic threat. Everybody needs to rally together. Here, we've got a new system to buy and sell. We got a new system to watch, track, and trace you. We got all, y'all know where this is going. So they want to call for a worldwide pandemic simulation to be carried out by the end of this year to test the effectiveness of the new terms before member nations sign them in 2024. We feel very strongly that we cannot wait for the next emergency to find out how well the pandemic accord and the IHR amendments will work. We need to know now. Joy Fumify, co-chair of the GPMB, stated on May 22nd. We therefore suggest that the member states, together with other key stakeholders, carry out a simulation exercise based on the draft accord and draft IHR amendments later this year before they are finalized and adopted. So they're pushing the issue. What else? Oh, look at this. Deadly bacteria that kills up to 50% of patients, now an endemic. It's not a pandemic yet. It's an endemic. Let's see what that means. Make sure everybody's on one accord. I'm going to start moving a little faster, y'all. So what's an endemic? So right now means what? It's prevalent in or limited to a particular locality, region, or people. So it's regional. It's only going to be affecting certain people right now. Well, isn't that how the last thing started off? I remember teaching a class when the last thing broke out, and I said they are hesitant to call it a pandemic. I said that in real time, YouTube muted me saying that. And one of the brothers at the time, he said, "Man, did you know they muted you when you said that?" I said, "No, I didn't even watch the video after we had the class and all of that. I didn't watch it." Brother replayed it for me, man. They muted me saying pandemic in real time. I said, "Oh snap, man! These cats, man, it's crazy. Not only are they watching, but they are censoring anything you say." And then a few months later, this was early. This was like I want to say maybe March of 2020 when it was just hitting over here, and they were talking about, "Oh, you don't have to wear a mask. Oh, just 14 days. The flatten the curve and all the other stuff." And I said, "Oh, this thing is coming." Blah 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 blah. They're hesitant to call it a pandemic, but it is. This is what it is, and they muted me. And then months later, they said, "Oh, it's actual pandemic." It's almost like we have to make the announcement. You can't, little nigga. You be quiet over there. We'll tell you when you can say it. So same thing going on here. Deadly bacteria that kills up to 50% of patients is now an endemic to the U.S. Gulf Coast. CDC expert says just a year after it was first detected in the country. So it took a year. Now it's killing up to 50% of people in this area, in this region. I mean, we still got the Marburg. We still got all these other viruses out there. Remember, you've got disease X that the CDC is aware of and has control of. I showed all of y'all them things a few weeks back. And now what? The WHO is saying, "Oh, we got to prepare we need a simulation before the end of the year." You got people out there choking, from the smoke and everything else in different regions, telling everybody stay back in the house, mask up. You know how this thing goes. 30 tons of toxic chemicals that's explosive is missing, and it's fertilizer based. Also, imagine that. So you telling me it can go on the ground, gets lit, and oh, don't mind me. I'm just thinking out loud. A deadly bacteria that kills up to 50% of people in percent of people it infects is now listed as an endemic along the U.S. Gulf Coast. Dr. Julia Petrus, an epidemiologist at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, who made the warning, said Holderia pseudomalae was now likely lurking in soil and stagnant water across 1,600 miles from Texas to Florida. People infected with the bacteria suffer melioidosis, a severe condition that can trigger pneumonia and sepsis and can be fatal. So people that have what's this affecting? The soil and stagnant water. So people with gardens, people eating from the food, the livestock, fishing, you know, you got wells on your land, all those things could be a danger. And it says 50% of people getting killed. And right now it's just in this area, just like they said, oh, it's just in China. Oh, then it goes to Italy, then it comes up. It's in the UK. Now it's all the way into Africa. Oh, now it made its way to America. Not saying this is going to happen, but we just have to track how they move with these things. You don't just pop out and say, "Oh, we need a simulation. We got to make sure we're ready for the next thing, and we got to get this thing done by the end of the year." And then you got all these other little threats that's floating around. Who knows? What else is happening that they're trying to make sure that we're not aware of or not paying attention to? Owner defaults on a loan for Hilton Union Square and Park 55 downtown San Francisco hotels. This is the biggest hotel in San Francisco. The owner says, "I can't pay the loan. I'm losing money. This thing is over with. I'm defaulting on my loan. I'm out of here." Biggest hotel in San Francisco, which is one of the bigger tourist spots in the country. He can't sustain his hotel anymore. Why? Because the economy is all bad. They want us to believe, oh, we got the debt ceiling figured out. We just printed up $4 trillion more dollars to sustain the gray horror. Meanwhile, the 4 trillion means higher inflation, higher gas prices, higher food prices, higher cost of living, higher rents, higher leases, higher commercial real estate loans, and everything else. Credit cards, bankruptcies is up. Cover that story. Highest it's been since 2010. People got to start paying back them student loans. People are gonna be dead broke, man. And you got billionaires saying, "I can't sustain this. I'm out of here." So is the trajectory of America going up or is it going down? When a billionaire cat says, "Man, I'm walking away from this thing, man. I can't hold it down no more." A billion-dollar company that owned two substantial San Francisco hotels announced June 5th that it is defaulting on its loan and releasing the hotels from its portfolio. Hilton San Francisco, Union Square, and Park 55, two towering hotels in downtown San Francisco, located a block from one another, look bound for a new ownership after Virginia-based real estate investment trust forfeited the property, citing, quote, best interest for its stockholders. They were losing too much money, and they're blaming it on uh, the homelessness and crime and everything else. Just the overall collapse of San Francisco. They're saying tourism is down. People ain't trying to go over there, man. It's crap all over the streets, man. Don't nobody want to mess with that thing. And these guys said, man, we got to walk away from this thing, man. We're defaulting on our loan in the interest of our stockholders before they bail on all of our investment properties and all our investments, man. Let's just go ahead and walk away from this one. So America's on its way down. Look, precarious. World Bank issues a dire forecast for the global economy. Why is the global economy in dire straits? Because America is being suffered. The expansion of the global economy will significantly decelerate in 2023 and 2024. Let me read that again, just so that everybody knows and we're all aware and we can all say, well, what are we going to do? How do we prepare? What's that mean for us? I mean, if the big boys, billionaires, trillionaires, and all of them is preparing and they stashing and doing everything else, hey, us little people, man, is really going to feel it. Really gonna feel it. And you got goofy Jakes on the damn chat board talking irrelevant stuff. The expansion of the global economy will significantly decelerate 2023 and 2024. So they're saying at least for the next 2 years, the global economy is going down. According to a report by the World Bank published on Tuesday, the world economy is in a precarious position, said Dermot Gill, the World Bank Group Chief Economist and Senior Vice President. The institution forecasts global growth to slow down from 3.1% in 2022 to 2.1% in 2023, according to the World Bank's Global Economic Prospects Report. So, long story short, the global economy is suffering. Why? Because America stands behind the global economy, but they don't want the average Joe Schmo to even think about these things because they want you to talk about 10 feet aliens that's hanging out in Vegas. Let's continue. Saudi Crown Prince threatened a major economic pain on the U.S. amid the oil feud. The Saudi Crown Prince threatened major economic pain on the U.S. amid an oil feud. So Saudi Arabia is basically saying we're pretty much ready to pull the plug on America and utilizing the dollar. We can get over here with this BRICS, with Brazil, Russia, India, and China, and Saudi Arabia. In South Africa. We can get down with them, establish new currency. We don't have to keep utilizing the petrodollar. We want to be able to sell our oil to anybody and receive any currency and cash it in and get paid off of it. See, here's one thing. If Saudi Arabia pulls out, it doesn't mean America is not going to have oil. America is the second largest oil producer in the world. America's got oil. The problem is that America has so many allegiances. America doesn't, utilize their oil for other countries. They kind of contract Saudi Arabia and other oil producing countries to help fuel their allies. The Great Whore has all of these particular merchants all throughout the earth that rely on America to negotiate deals for them for power, for energy, for resources, so forth and so on. And Saudi Arabia is one of them. Now, if Saudi Arabia pulls out, they're going to say, well, guess what? We're going to cut off our deal with you. We can establish our own contracts with these other countries and cut off America, and we can walk away. And if they got a problem with it, well, guess what? We're already cool with China and Russia. We're already cool with Iran and Syria. All your enemies. So if you really want to go there, they've got allegiances with America's top enemies. And does that mean war will go down? Don't mess with America's money. It can go down. Sanctions ain't going to do it. China laughing at sanctions. Russia's laughing at sanctions. Iran laughing at sanctions. They don't give a damn about American sanctions no more. So this is why they're talking about major economic pain. I'm gonna do a class about America and all of its majesty, how this place is really like the what they say, the goose with the golden egg. Why this place allows the so-called white man to rule and run the earth. Job 9:24. America is very, very a strategic honeypot, and the white man knows it. And this is why he rules the earth, because of the positioning in this place right here. Well, I'm gonna do that in the future. But look at this. Last fall, President Biden vowed to impose, quote, consequences on Saudi Arabia for his decision to slash oil production amid high energy prices and fast approaching elections in the United States. In public, the Saudi government defended its actions politely via diplomatic statements, but in private, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman threatened to fundamentally alter the decades-old U.S.-Saudi relationship and impose significant economic costs on the United States if it retaliated against the oil cuts, according to classified documents obtained by the Washington Post. So you got Ishmael threatening to pull away from America and cripple them with their economic opportunities and how it's going to affect the global situation. This would be all bad. But Ishmael is bailing out. He's telling Esau, man, F off. So that also is going to impact the futures. Investors have pulled a staggering $780 million from the crypto exchange Binance in the last 24 hours after SEC accused it of mishandling customer funds and diverting them to separate firm owned by founder CZ. Now, this is also what you see with the so-called white man and how he establishes control. Remember when everything was going down before they got this debt ceiling figured out and they printed up the little $4 trillion and they got their budget back on track? They was allowing the crypto to go crazy, the gold and silver to go crazy. Everything was going good. Now that he's got a little bit back control over paying his bills and wants to, consolidate the economic situation here in America. You have the small bank, the banks crashing. You got one of them, the First Republic, got bought out by who was it? Chase bought them out. While they're talking about other smaller banks that are looking to collapse as well. So it's all about collapsing businesses. You've seen the damn billion-dollar Hilton hotels defaulting on loans. So who's going to come in and buy them up? Oh, a bank could probably come in, buy it up, own it up. Could either turn that into some subsidized, small housing or keep operating as a hotel. Who knows? But if you notice, now the government is coming after crypto. They sued. They sued and put out a lawsuit and coming after Coinbase. Now they're coming after Binance. Binance was the competitor to SV. What was the name of that bank, man? The damn little billionaire nerd that got busted for all the little money laundering and all the scamming he was doing. He's still on trial. Well, he got arrested. He's out on bail, but whatever the name of his crypto exchange was, I can't remember off the top of my head. If y'all remember, put it in the chat. But Binance was his rival, so they got rid of one. Now they're coming to get the next one, and all the investors are seeing this, and they're saying that take the money out. 780 million got taken out the Binance crypto exchange. So now they're showing you how crypto now is. They're coming in to start checking that thing. They're trying to kill that off so that the Fed now system can come in, the CBDC and the Fed coin, all that, so they can come in and impose their will. The government, so-called white man, he's gonna come in and say, "I want to control everything." So I got to get rid of all of the small-time competitors, all of the other things that the thorns in my side. So this is what this is about. Binance customers have pulled their tokens in droves since the Securities and Exchange Commission launched a legal action. The SEC has also sued Binance's billionaire CEO Changpeng Zhao in a case which alleges a web of deception to evade U.S. laws. SEC officials followed the lawsuit with another against fellow crypto trading platform Coinbase on Tuesday. So they're coming at. There you go. FTX, the water. Subsequently, FTX. So they got rid of FTX. Now they're coming after Binance. Then they're going after Coinbase. They're trying to shut down the whole crypto community and the crypto markets. And they say that they want to be able to put in regulatory commissions over all of them, which means we want government control. And look at this. Treasury Secretary Yellen says she wouldn't be surprised to see more bank consolidation. Well, yeah, that means what? More banks are going to be collapsing in the very near future and consolidating into one general hub owned by the big boys. It's no different than with the entertainment industry. There's only 6 media companies that own all of Hollywood and the entertainment industry. It's only 6 that run everything. They're going to do the same thing with the banks. So you can see now, if you look at how they're manipulating the pricing, gold and silver was just up. Nice, like a month and a half, 2 months ago. Now all of a sudden it's stagnated or it's losing value because they manipulate the markets, man. Once they got the stock market back on their feet again and pumping out with fake money and fake security, You got people believing again. Oh, well, let's get back in the market again. And meanwhile, they telling you, don't worry, we're going to take care of the crypto thing. And we're going to get rid of these other banks too. But just look at the aliens over there in the backyard. And go, listen to the whistleblower that's talking about how they've got alien crash sites and they've got the technology on hand, man. And, white man's just hiding it. Believe that if you want to. So this is what they're talking about. Coinbase CEO says the SEC lack of clarity is harming America. So this is regarding the lawsuit that we just read about earlier. CEO of Coinbase saying, he's ready to respond to the lawsuit. He's ready to go to court about this whole thing. He wants to, figure out what's regulatory, what isn't. This isn't fair. If we got to be the what do you call it? Sacrificial lamb, for everybody, then we're going to do it. See, regarding the SEC complaint against us today, we're proud to represent the industry in court to finally get some clarity around crypto rules. See that? They want they want clarity about what's allowed and what isn't. So the government is trying to impose their will to say what's okay, what isn't okay, what's taxable, what we can get. They want all of that. And most of these individuals, you don't have money long enough to battle the government or lawyers strong enough to battle the government. Many of them is going to end up just caving in, crashing, and acquiescing to whatever's going on, pay their fines, and get back to the money. Meanwhile, anybody that's involved in the crypto exchanges and all that, man, is going to be victimized because now the new rules is going to, cause some issues. So, very interesting enough, I've gotten a couple of emails because I've dabbled in both in the past. I haven't really messed with either one in a long time, but the fact that I had accounts or have investments in both, I've gotten emails talking about, terms of it, different terms are changing, and we got to switch you over to a new card for your if you want to continue on with your crypto stuff, you need this card now, or your Robinhood investments, we need to switch it. I'm like, what is going on over here? But things are all changing now. I just got an email not too long ago. They talking about in August, I believe, the amount of money you can withdraw and exchange and all this other stuff is changing. They're already trying to, cut them off at the pass and instill new rules. Why? Because the government is breathing down their necks. So let's continue. Oh, look at it. Universal basic income to be trialed in England. The scheme will see participants receive €1,600 a month for 2 years. Well, that's what ends up happening. Oh, let's collapse economies. Let's break everybody down and then incorporate them into a universal basic income where everybody's receiving the same amount, but it's going to be based around, once they really ramp it up, it's all going to be based around your social credit score. It's all going to be based around your carbon footprint, your digital ID, your travel pad, all that other stuff is all going to be, do you get access to your monthly income? All the businesses are shutting down, closing, people getting laid off, unemployment is exhausted. But don't worry. The B system is going to set you up with a new monthly payment system, much like Social Security or something like that. Disability. I mean, if you look at that from in the terms of people in the working world, you're either on disability or you're on, SSI. You're incapable of doing anything anymore. And that's what they're trying to break everybody down to. So they're getting ready to trial it in England. They've done it here in California. They've done it in Chicago, I believe. They've done it in a couple of different places. Just doing a beta test to see how people survive and live off of it. I mean, Lord knows they already know. Okay, well, we know people will be relying upon. They can use the EBT and the SNAP programs and everything else. So they're going to try to utilize this to be more of a control of people. So England, get ready. Why are so many younger Americans okay with Big Brother monitoring their homes? See how the system comes into play? All of you to get on, you addicted to the apps on the phone, addicted to the computers and the tablets. You're given the permissions to do everything. Oh, yes, you can access my contact list. Yes, you can access my camera. Yes, you can access my microphone. Oh, this app needs access to your blood type if you agree with this. It ain't nobody reading all the damn terms and conditions. You just saying yes because I need the app. I want to use it. So they're grooming Gen Z, Gen X, and I'm Gen X, I think. Gen Z, Gen X, the millennials are all being accustomed to growing up with technology, internet, so forth and so on, and it just becomes a part of life. So for them, it's no big deal. And the excuse is always, "I got nothing to hide." And I said, "Well, okay, well, can I have your PIN number to your bank account? You got nothing to hide, man. Let me just go ahead and unpeep and see what you got going on in there." Oh, no, 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 no. Well, let me see the pictures on your save folder over there that says, for my eyes only. What? Oh, that you want to hide, you know. But when it comes down to the so-called white man, big brother, man, no problem. See how they condition and soften everybody to get acclimated into a system of control, where the new world order can come in and say, this is how we have to protect you from yourself. We're going to establish order out of chaos, and we'll reward you with a universal basic income and pay you for your cooperation. So look at this. Why are so many young Americans okay with Big Brother monitoring their homes? Children are raised in an atmosphere of fear, become adults who prioritize security over liberty. The good news is that only a minority of younger Americans favor Big Brother style surveillance of our home life. The bad news is that we're discussing this because it's disturbingly large share supporting such a totalitarian intrusion. Worse, the idea seems to be gaining acceptance. We either need to get a handle on what's going on here or else potentially suffer lives monitored by unblinking eyes of the state imposed by popular demand. So, I'm not going to finish reading this for the lack of time that I got, but knowing that people are accepting of Big Brother, monitor cameras all over the place, microphones everywhere, them having access to your apps and to all of your smart devices, the smart meters in your homes to regulate the temperatures and your electricity and everything else. You got everything from smart refrigerators to dishwashers to smartphones. You got Alexa and Google and Siri and uh, whoever else watching and monitoring and taking care of your home. Ring is on there, man, which can be hacked. I mean, Ring does have its advantages as far as security is concerned. So it's kind of like a give and take. You get what you know what you're getting into if you get that thing. But this is what's going on, and they already got the next generation saying we're cool with it. It's gonna be us. It's gonna be us dinosaurs sitting back saying, "Hell no! What are you talking about? No!" And before you know it, we're gonna be the ones that get pushed out and lined up on firing squads and guillotines because we're the rebels. Let's continue. Biden whistleblowers fear for their lives. Republicans say the FBI won't hand over an alleged $5 million bribery document because key informant safety could be in jeopardy. So what else are they hiding? You got whistleblowers that's ready to blow the whistle on Biden, man, and bring up things that could possibly get him indicted and impeached. And now they're saying that the FBI won't hand over key documents to prove this point because they're saying that one of their informants might get put to death. That's how deep the game goes. I mean, if you look at the history of the Clintons and their criminal activities, the Dixie Mafia and all that they're involved in, you know how many people have died coming around, investigating, checking out what happened with the Clintons and people come up dead, man. I mean, this cats, man. The one guy, man, Gary Webb. This wasn't under the Clintons. This was under, I think, the Bushes. Gary Webb was the reporter that blew the whistle on the Nicaragua scandal with the drugs and Rick Ross and all of that. And they said that the dude was found. Um, they said that he committed suicide, but I forgot the manner of his death. There's no way that he could have killed himself. I forgot. You know what? See. Uh, yeah, they said he died from a suicide, but there was some real suspicious activity regarding it, man. And the way that he died, they said there was no way that he could have died from suicide. But nonetheless, um, you know, these are the type of things, man, that they active in. There's many whistleblowers that came against the Clintons, man. There was one guy, man, I forgot what he had did, but he was an informer. Well, he was a whistleblower against the Clintons. They said that this dude was found hung with a gunshot wound to the head, and they said that that was a route of suicide. So, yeah, yeah, there you go. Subsequently, double tap to the head, man. Like he shot himself once and then shot himself again. You would think one shot to the head is enough, but anyway, that was exactly what happened. Uh, Subsequently, let me throw that up there, man, so people know what I'm talking about. That was Gary Webb, right? How somebody commit suicide with two shots to the back of the head is beyond me. But this is what they're talking about. So they're saying that one of these FBI informers, man, that can blow the whistle on slow Biden and get him up out of there. They're saying he fears for his life, man. He's not coming clean, and the FBI is not turning over key documents that could fry him. But they're gonna let that slide, man. They too busy saying, no, no, Trump's still the bad guy. Go get him. I mean, he is a damn devil in our view, in our eyes, but he's being used as a puppet, man, to distract people when the real criminals is acting a damn fool right in front of us. The FBI allowed leaders of the House Oversight Committee to view the FD 1023 form. Republicans say proves President Biden was involved in a $5 million criminal bribery scam. So the FBI is holding out on this information. They won't turn it over. Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene told Daily Mail it is purely political that the FBI isn't handing over the document, which has the names of the informant and whistleblower redacted to protect their identities. Contempt of Congress charges will still be initiated against FBI Director Wray. So, I mean, this is how deep it's going, man. But let's continue on. There's more things they don't want us to know. Oh, they don't want us to know about this either, huh? J&J's in the arm taken by 19 million Americans got this thing in them. It is pulled by the FDA after it was paused out of an abundance of caution over rare blood clot concerns. They waited until 19 million people already got this thing in their arm, and then they paused it, and now they finally just said, take it off the market. This is dangerous. And remember, this was the one being marketed as all you need is one. The ones by Moderna and Pfizer, they were saying you're gonna need two to get the full dose. Johnson and Johnson said, "Don't worry about it. We can do it in one. You want to get back to work? Want your kids to get back to school? Want to do well? Come on. One in the arm is all you gotta take." And now the FDA says, "Oh, let's pull that off the market. 19 million people may end up getting rare blood clot issues." Quick, throw out the alien story. Yeah, the one from a month and a half ago. Yeah, that one. Go ahead. They won't know the difference. They'll think it just happened yesterday. You see how this works? Hey, scramble and pull out the trump card, man. Lock his ass up again. Didn't we just talk about this a few months ago? The way he was getting arrested again and indicted and everything else? Every time they got something going on, pull him out. But here we go. What else are they trying to, slide under the rug? Newsom proposes constitutional amendment to restrict access to guns. Oh, California now is trying to slide in new regulations rules. It's not as if we already don't have it hard as hell. He wants even more restrictions. So pretty soon it's gonna be like London, where you can't have a gun at all. That's why everybody stabs everybody over there. It's gonna be like New York, where you can't have a gun. If you get caught with a gun, 3 years automatic, and you got to jump through hoops and all kind of madness just to get a damn legal gun over there. California Governor Gavin Newsom is proposing an amendment to the Constitution to implement 4 gun control measures that he says have wide support across the country. Oh, so California starts it, and then it spreads across the country. So look, everybody in the rest of the country's waiting on us to put this into effect, and then they'll follow suit. But we got to do it first. Newsom's office said in a release on Thursday that he's calling for enshrining 4 gun safety regulations into the Constitution, raising the minimum age to purchase firearms from 18 to 21, implementing universal background checks, instituting a, quote, reasonable waiting period for gun purchases, and preventing civilians from buying, quote, assault weapons. So, taking assault weapons off the table is what he's proposing. A reasonable waiting period. Well, what is that? Right now, I think it's 3 days or 7 days, one of the two. That's not reasonable enough. Who knows how long they're saying? They won't say how long. I know you can get, I think they said you can get a shotgun at 18, but you can't get no other gun until you're 21, I think. I'm not an expert on law, but I know you can get a rifle or a shotgun at 18. They're saying you can't get nothing at all until you're 21. And implementing universal background checks. I mean, they're already doing that. What are they talking about? You can't even buy ammo without a passport, or you got to have the damn the federal ID. If you ain't got that, it's over with. Let the quad put that up there, because Wilder, you can inform me. So he said most likely won't pass because you need 2/3 of the states, or you need 2/3 of the state vote. He's trying to push it. We'll see. It's 11 days out here. Okay. Okay, kind. Well, there you go. Him still trying to implement, oppressive and dictatorships out here. That's just the main thing. They're pushing the issue. Eventually, they're going to try to forget about votes. Oh, it's about the safety. They just got to let a few more of these damn school shootings and things go down to make people more buckle some more. You know how that works. We got to have some more false flags. We got to have somebody of a high stature get put to death till everybody just buckles and says, okay, yeah, we need to do this. We got to stop this. Let one of these little LGBTQ plus queens get popped in the head at a corner, at a damn parade or something. Oh, we got to stop this. We'll see. We'll see. All right, let's continue. America's at war, all hell's breaking loose, and this is their idea of where we're headed. I mean, if it's not spiritual Sodom, man, I don't know what is. They highlight, got the rainbow flag highlighting the White House now. This is supposed to be the strength of the most powerful nation in the world, man. Look how they're carrying themselves. Biden to host the largest, let me read that again, the largest pride celebration in history. In history. So this damn well, I don't have proof of that, but we've seen Slow Biden and his behavior around young children, especially young girls. He wants to have the largest pride celebration in history as the economy teeters on the brink of collapse. So the economy is faltering and on the brink of collapse. You're involved in world wars. Inflation is out of control. Homelessness out of control. Drug deaths and the drug abuse out of control. And he wants to celebrate it by having a big old pride celebration. Well, he wants to have a big old pride celebration, huh? Well, how about this? Sirach 10 and 7. Pride is hateful before the Most High and man, and by both doth one commit iniquity. Well, this is how we know what's going to be coming about this thing. Remember last week we just got to reading about the Church of Satan and all how Satanism all came about because it was an act of rebellion against moral laws and against the Bible and everything else. Because the sexual revolution that was happening in the 60s and they wanted to stand out. So it's letting you know that that whole thing is set up through pride, which is hateful before the Most High. It's set up in opposition of righteousness, so they're moving in abominations. It's driven by Satan, established by Satan. And here Slow Biden says we want to have the biggest. You want to have the biggest pride celebration, huh? Okay. Well, then you wonder why America is going through what it is, man. People in the East Coast, Midwest is over there coughing, getting sucking up toxic air, and Slow Biden is saying, let's get out and celebrate. Pride is hateful before the Most High, man, and by both doth one commit iniquity. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So carry on with the foolishness, because we're ready for this kingdom to be translated to another people, meaning who? The children of Israel. So Slow Biden is setting the precedence, man, for the destruction of America. All praises. But we see how he's moving. Human Rights Campaign declares a national state of emergency for the LGBTQ plus HIV people. A national state of emergency, huh? I mean, was there a state of emergency, man, for black folks when we was out there getting and continually being killed in the streets, dog sicked on us, segregation, us being lynched and hung and burned? Was there a state of emergency for that? I mean, was there a state of emergency, man, when they committed genocide and started killing off the Native Americans here? Was there one? I don't recall a state of emergency, man, when there was Fast and Furious guns traveling down to Mexico. They were supplying the cartels with guns, and 60,000 people got killed. Have been killed since 26. I think from 2010 to 2016, or from 2016 on up. Was there a state of emergency then? We just talked about it earlier, man. The Iran, I mean the Contra scandal. America being involved in the drug sales. I mean, the poppy fields over there in Afghanistan. Is there a state of emergency for that? Oh, no, no, no. Oh, but for the sodomite community, oh, we can the state of emergency. Why? Oh, they're being hunted down and killed, and they can't get jobs. Well, what are you talking about, man? They've already misgendered the bathrooms. You've got the largest amount of people in political offices right now ever. You're invading the schools with new curriculum. You've got drag queens reading to the kids. You're inviting the kids into gay clubs and having them hang out for parties. The propaganda is on every. You can't watch a show in cartoon for that fact without some sort of innuendo being thrown in regarding gender and lifestyles. Sesame Street now, Bert and Ernie is a gay couple now. I mean, come on. Where's the state of emergency at? Was there a state of emergency, man, when they stormed the state capitol down there in Tennessee and wild out? Was a state of emergency, man, when they was wilding out in Hollywood shutting down places and bugging out. Come on, man. But it's what they standing on. Oh, look at it. LGBTQ plus Americans are living in a state of emergency. The multiplying threats facing millions in our community are just not perceived. They're real, tangible, and dangerous. The group's president, Kelly Robinson, said, in many cases, they are resulting in violence against the LGBTQ plus people, forcing families to uproot their lives and flee their homes. Oh, sounds like, black folks leaving the South because of segregation, because of getting lynched and hung. Oh, you're using that template, huh? Profiteering off of the afflictions and the downfall of our people, man. And utilizing our cursings to substantiate their BS. Oh, they got to leave their homes in search of safer states and triggering a tidal wave of increased homophobia and transphobia that puts the safety of each and every one. Come on, man. You had an organization called Black Lives Matter that was headed up by 3 so-called Negro women that were part of that community. They raised hell throughout the streets. They got the money, and now they're filing bankruptcy. They had like $25 million on the payroll, and now they got to file bankruptcy and go and solve it. I mean, where's a state of emergency at, man? Let me move on. Oh, maybe this is it. Maybe this is what they're talking about.
We begin with the violent protests outside a school board meeting in Glendale, California, when masked activists clashed with parents opposed to how the district is teaching gender and sexuality. Hold up. Whoa. Now, the school board meeting was about making June Pride Month, which board members unanimously approved late in the evening. And as the brawl unraveled, several parents raised concerns about the school's transgender policies and that their children were being introduced to subject matters that they simply were not ready for.
Okay, so they're saying that's what they're dealing with. Oh, they're being violence is happening to them. First of all, that was all in regards to a school board meeting where parents were meeting with the school board regarding them changing curriculums, regarding them instituting a Pride Month and forcing all the kids to follow along with it and accept this indoctrination. And this was between parents and school board. Now these LGBTQ plus HIV activists show up and want to impose their will on parents and their kids. Since when? This wasn't like they was just walking down the street and there was a mob of people that just jumped on them because it was 2 gay dudes holding hands. That's what they're trying to make it sound like. No, they're getting victimized and getting hands laid on them because they're intervening in families. They're intervening with curriculums and private practices of how people are raising their kids. And people are like, get the hell out of here. Quit trying to impose your way on us. We don't agree with it. We're not with it. And they're saying, no, we want to make sure that your kids live like us, accept us, do what we do. If 2 men want to play in the Hershey Highway, we want to be able to teach your kid that it's safe and cool. Let's get down with it. Oh, don't worry about monkeypox. And if a parent says, no, I don't want that, get the hell away from me. Oh, you're homophobic. Oh, you don't want, yeah, come on. And then you wonder why they're getting hands laid on them and telling them, get the hell up out of here. They're utilizing them, trying to impose their will on people as a replacement for victimhood. It's all game, man. It's all BS.
They need to stop asking little children what they sexually identify as.
See, that's in Glendale. It's mostly Hispanics and Armenians up there. They're not with it, which I'm pretty shocked that there's still some people here with moral compasses that's not with it. So, good for that there's still some resistance. So look at this. More than 200 LGBTQ groups demand Target to restock tuck-friendly swimsuits and take a stand against anti-LGBTQ plus extremists. See, it's an extremist, man. If you say, man, I don't want a kid section with onesies talking about how much, how queer you are and how gay you are, and you're talking about a child, man, who can't even speak, don't have teeth yet, and still relying to suckle their mother for nourishment, and you want to have them wear a onesie talking about how gay they are. I mean, there's a viral video, man, of some sister, man, disgusting, holding up there her little baby, talking about, I hope you're gay, I hope you're gay, I hope you're gay, I want you to be gay, I want you to be gay. Well, even if you're not gay, but I hope you're gay. Oh, that, I mean, chanting and praying and flopping around the baby into the camera, talking about how much she wants the baby to be gay. This is the type of mental illness, man, and the damn wild stuff that's going on in these people's minds, man, that lets you know that this is all agenda driven, all based around mental illness, man. I mean, what right woman in her mind is going to turn on the camera looking for a viral moment, waving her baby around in front of the camera, praying that he's gay? And now you got 200 LGBTQ plus groups going to a corporation and telling them to put tuck-friendly swimsuits back on deck. What were they doing before that? Before these little tuck-friendly swimsuits came around, you were surviving, you was okay, you didn't need it. Oh, but because now you're seeing, oh, we can make some money off of it, we can get it out there, we want more exposure, and Target says, no, we're not going to sell those anymore, man. We just got through losing billions of dollars, 14 billion to be exact, from people striking against Target. And the white man is about bottom line and money. He's saying, no, we're okay, cut that. We thought that was going to work. Bud Light thought they can throw the tranny out there to, advertise their beer, and that didn't work. Oh, they're out of there. But here comes the Scrabble gang out in force to say we want those back. And they're saying that the extremists are the ones who say we don't want that and we're not going to buy it. Which one makes sense? If the customer's saying we wouldn't buy that, and you lose $14 billion, and another group comes up saying, put that back there because you're just falling victim to the extremists who don't want to invest their money in this BS. What right business owner in their mind is going to say, oh, to satisfy your feelings, yeah, I'm going to go put this in the stores where it's not going to sell, just because you feel like people don't like the design or the style. I mean, it's just getting ridiculous, man. It really is. All right, let me move on. I'm going to breeze through some of these. Okay, Target's stunning $14 billion collapse is a stark warning to other woke CEOs. Shark Tank warns following backlash against store's Pride collection. So, surprisingly enough, man, there's enough people in this country that ain't with it. And, we can see what's happening when these corporations and businesses start pushing the issue. They're trying to see how far they can go. Well, there's certain limitations that people are saying we ain't with it. And money is the root of the love of money, root of all evil, man. If a white man can't continue in his evil with his money, he'll make the changes, which he's doing. No matter how much they out there flashing and shaking and twitching out in the streets and, being as flamboyant as they want to, the Most High said they're going to die in their pride and their ignorancy. And the white man said, I ain't going to lose money over your foolishness either. I'll do my dirt behind closed doors, but meanwhile, I need money up front. Pat Robinson, some of y'all favorites, man. Some of y'all was raised on Pat Robinson in the 700 Club. Don't lie. One of the head demons of religion, man. He's out of here. Pat Robinson, broadcaster who helped make religion essential to GOP politics, dies at 93. So good old Pat Robinson from the 700 Club and the TBN network and all that. He's giving up the ghost. So see you, Pat. Good riddance. Let's move on. Look at it. Look at Esau, man. This is why the Most High said, man, he is not dealt so with any nation. When it comes down to his word, Psalms 147, 19 and 20. This is what they end up coming up with. When they don't understand the majesty of the Most High, they don't understand his word, precept upon precept, line upon line. They go out and they make up doctrines of religion. Look at this. This new church wants to get you high with synthetic toad venom. The army vets behind the church of the methoxin have a unique sacrament, one that involves a drug derived from shrooms and a poisonous amphibian. So they're look at this man. A motley assemblage of Army veterans, yogis, and psychonauts are mingling in April in the garden of a luxury property just outside Austin, Texas, on the hottest day of the year yet in the state. Some 350 people are here to dance to ambient music and celebrate a unique new religious congregation that worships with the psychedelic sacrament, one they claim to have created themselves by crossbreeding magic mushrooms with hallucinogenic toad venom. Welcome to the Church of Silomethoxin. And this is what the heathen do. And this guy's got on a damn Eye of Horus or the Egyptian. That's the Eye of Horus. I think he got around this thing. So he's all over the place and let you know where he's drawing some of his knowledge from. So this is what Esau is doing, man. I got to go there just real quick. I mentioned it. This is why the heathen, man, run out here and they raging and they don't have a damn clue of what to read and how to understand the Bible. Why? He showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. The Most High has only shown his word, revealed his word unto Jacob, the Jacobites, the 12 tribes of Israel. His statutes and his judgments have been given to the children of Israel. The word and the knowledge of the word, man, he's only given it to us and our descendants, man. The spirit of the Lord only dwells within us, and we can only decipher and understand his word. How can I make that bold claim? Because verse 20, he have not dealt so with any nation. So no other nation can say that the Most High has entrusted them with his word, nor given them statutes and judgments to set them above the people. Only Israel. So because they don't understand the word, they go out and they create denominational religions and cults. And they go out there and they create all of these damn doctrines that have nothing to do with the Bible. So now they got a whole new church, man, that gets high off of genetically engineered mushrooms, hybrid mushrooms, and they getting high off of toad venom, looking for inspiration. Look at this. He have not dealt with any nation. As for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Most High Yahweh. So they don't know the judgments of the Most High. That's why they can't elaborate on prophecy. That's why they can't elaborate on the judgments that's going to befall them and the nations, so forth and so on. That's why they can't tell. They're telling us the laws are done away with because they don't understand how to deal with the judgments of the children of Israel and the curses. They want to talk about the curses that already happened. That's over with. They don't know a damn thing. So let the heathen, man, they can go over there and get high off of toad venom, man. Hopefully some of them collapse and die so they can kind of understand and see. This ain't for you. Did y'all see this?
Take you out to Prince George's County in Maryland. Of course, we're following a story there. And I want to put a tweet from our Fox 5 team as the Maryland mother and daughter have been charged in the murder of 71-year-old grandmother. Police say they found human remains in a trash bags in the basement and a chainsaw. They both appeared in a Prince George's County courtroom this afternoon at 1:15 p.m. Eastern. Of course, following this very closely here on Live Now from Fox, as authorities say mother and her daughter have been charged in connection with murdering the family's grandmother. Police have charged 44-year-old Candace Craig with first and second degree murder. Her 19-year-old daughter is also charged with accessory after the fact. Let's take
accessory after the fact. That means a mother killed her and then drug her daughter into the case and said, "Help me get rid of grandmama's body." I mean, when you continue watching this, it's 13 minutes. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm just going to play that a little bit. The DA, I mean, she's so choked up and so jacked up about reading this, man. You could tell her spirit is shook. Because she says she's never seen this happen before, never dealt with a case like this. And this is in Maryland, okay? A mother and a daughter, man, killed a grandmother, dismembered her body, and put it in trash bags, man. That's not the spirit of Israel, man. We don't get down like that. But I let you know, man, the demons is out, man. When Yahweh Shah says it's going to be as the days of Noah, and the days of Noah said that the earth was filled with violence, perilous times, as according to 2 Timothy 3rd chapter says, children will be disobedient to parents, truce breakers, despisers of those that are good. And then when you see your own damn people, man, two females at that, man, do it, carry out a crime like that, man. A lot of females, man, are scared to kill a damn bug, man. They, sisters be out here running from the flies. And these two damn demon Jezebel type broads, man, they went out there and killed it. The mama killed the damn grandmother, man, and then chopped her up, put her in bags. I mean, how far are we gone, man? That's why we need Yahushua and the angels, man. Come back, judge this place, man. Get rid of the wicked Israelites, man, as well as the rest of the heathen and the wicked. Unbelievable. Let's move on. Mama 4, 35, shot dead in front of her son by a neighbor. Here goes another shooting by a neighbor. How many times have we seen this? We just seen the 80-plus-year-old man shoot the 14-year-old kid in the head because he knocked on the wrong door. We've seen other neighbors shooting kids that's playing in their playing in their driveways. So the prophecy in regards to 2 Ezra 15 about a man having no pity on his neighbor, well, here we go. And this was a damn Edomite female. Killed a mom of 4. She was a sister. Old Edomite female, man, went and killed her. Mom of 4, 35, was shot dead in front of her son, 9, by a neighbor who complained about her children playing outside. No arrest is due. Let me read that again. No arrest due to stand your ground law. The damn female, the old Edomite broad, said that she felt scared and intimidated by a damn 9-year-old and his sibling. I mean, what harm could the damn 9-year-old do to this damn old Edomite, man? So she feared for her life. So the stand your ground law says when the mama comes out and gets to talking back to the damn Edomite, man, she says, "Oh, now I'm really threatened. I got to kill you." The neighbor reportedly fired a gun through her door. So she's in the comfortability of her own home behind a locked door. She could have called the police. No. And the stand your ground law says, hey, you was in the right. You was behind a closed and locked door. You had every right to kill that little nigga woman. You see how that works? I mean, this type of stuff is going on, man, but we want to argue about some. All right, let me leave that alone. Police said they have identified the suspect, but have not yet made any arrests. Now, this is as far as I remember. I don't know if they double backed on it because of the pressures that was coming. They may have arrested her now, but in the initial, she wasn't arrested. And this is just as of Tuesday. This past Tuesday. Calls are growing for the arrest of a woman accused of shooting dead her mother of 4 neighbor after she complained about the victim's children playing outside. The children of Jake A.J. Owens were playing in a field near an apartment complex in Ocala, Florida on Friday when her neighbor began yelling at them to get off her land and calling them racial slurs, renowned civil rights attorney Ben Crump said. The children then accidentally left an iPad behind after leaving the field, Crump explained, before going back to fetch it. Obviously, you continue reading on, man. The woman was tripping. Kids went back, told the mama goes back to talk to and confront the Edomite, man. She's scared behind the door, locked the door, man, shoots through the damn door. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, man. And we know Zechariah says, man, they go and kill our people, man, and hold themselves not guilty. So how does that make sense? She's behind, she shoots through the door, and that's okay. As long as there's a dead black woman there, no harm, no foul. Army vet 36 and a stepson 18 shot dead at a high school graduation ceremony in Virginia. Suspect who also injured 5 others is arraigned on second-degree murder charges. So again, more shootings at a high school graduation, and this was apparently over, I think, some rat beef or something, some foolishness. Father and the son gets put to death, man. This cat, man, shoots him. He goes and shoots up the damn graduation. Jake is just losing their damn mind, man. The demons have infested bodies and the minds of people, man. They, and we seen earlier, and I'm going into this later, so y'all don't want to miss this one. Going into the weed, how it will kill you, and the harmful effects of it, We're gonna get into that whole thing and make sure that everybody's understood, and you got plenty of ammunition to tell your friends, your family, and everybody out there smoking and all that, and mad at you because you don't chip in and buy with them anymore and all that. You're gonna get them plenty of information as to why you ain't messing with them no more. But we seen earlier, man, how the weed, I gave a couple articles a couple weeks back. Weed is causing schizophrenia and paranoia in people, man. That's why you see these jakes men out here acting a damn fool. It's affecting their quote unquote mental health. I mean, what right man in his mind is going to run and go start spraying up a damn graduation because you got an issue with one of the other, students over there? Now look at this. And this is how you know, man, the influences that happen in the entertainment industry is real and it's possessed by Satan, man. And our people is willing to do anything. We covered this a while, I think it was last week or the week before that. We covered this in Revelation 13 and Luke, the 4th chapter, about Satan have dominion over the earth, and he'll give the power to whoever will bow down to him. And it says that the power was given unto the beast in Revelation 13. Power was given unto the beast by the dragon, which is Satan. Damson Idris claims to have called on the devil for Snowfall inspiration. So anybody that hasn't watched that show, Snowfall, it's a loosely based by true story regarding the story of Freeway Rick Ross out here in LA, and him getting a hold of drugs and him becoming a quote unquote drug kingpin. That's why I said it's loosely based, because he ended up getting convicted and doing some time, and he got busted. But it goes back to the Nicaragua, the Contra scandal and all of that. It's a good show. But this dude, man, readily admitted that he called on the devil for his role. It says, I was like, come on, devil. Come to me. I had to do something like crazy. It shows you the sacrifices, man, the initiations and all that stuff that we hear about that go on in this industry is real. And this dude just came out and just admitted to it. Well, how can he just boldly come out? Because we just got through seeing about the Church of Satan now is getting more publicity. Baphomet statues is getting put up all over the place. Satan after school. Now we just seen the Satan Con go down. Thousands of people going there. So he feels like, hey, well, shit, Satan is in now. I can talk about how I got this role, who I called on for my successes, and to conjure up this spirit so I can portray it and act it out. Damson has revealed that he called on the devil for inspiration while filming Snowfall. During a Drama's Actors Roundtable discussion for The Hollywood Reporter, the host asked the performers about the, quote, dark places they would inhabit for villainous roles. Dark places. Idris 31 gave an example of when he had to channel a particular dark energy to get into Franklin Saint's headspace. However, after calling on the devil for pointers, the British star revealed he suffered from intense nightmares in the aftermath. In this last season, I was hitting a block. I was like, oh, I'm not doing it right. He discloses at 9:50 mark of the video. I went in the corner, and then I was looking at the wall, and I was like, come on, devil, come to me. I had to do something like crazy. And this is what these cats is up to, man. Delving into the left-hand sides of illumination, praying and sacrificing themselves to Satan and the devil, man. All for acting roles, all for money, all for acclaim and fame and pride and arrogancy and money and women and everything else, man. Literally selling your soul. I mean, Job said it, and Yahushua reiterated it when he said, what does it profit a man if he gains the world but loses his soul? And that's exactly what this dude did, man. But openly admitting, that's how they get down in Hollywood. Plenty more where that came from. NYC's first safe drug vending machine is replenished with Narcan, fentanyl strips, and condoms, but no more crack pipes after residents ransacked the first stash in 24 hours. So you see how they Got no problem having drug safe zones and vending machines where you can get condoms, crack pipes, and everything else. In 24 hours, the vending machine was ransacked and emptied. That's how fast they went out there and had everything going. Now they replenished it with Narcan, fentanyl strips, and condoms. But when the crack pipes was in and everything else, man, they was come on, man. But this is America for you, though. This is America. Rainbow lit up, White House and all. Rainbow lit up, White House and all. This is what this is the real concerns of the people, right? Vending machines loaded with crack pipes, fentanyl strips, and everything else. And America says, what's the problem? I don't know what's going on with my camera, but anyway, what's the problem? Stopping against standing ground stage, I can test a person having shot. You might. Yeah. Well, you know, everybody got to move in their own wisdom, man. But you know, let's just make sure that we move it in the right wisdom. Scripture said, man, wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of our times. And the times definitely are in need of true wisdom and knowledge from the Most High. Scour the laws, scour the understanding through the scriptures, man. Have the faith of Yahweh Shai and these laws, and the rest will take care of itself. But don't be scared to defend yourself against these heathen, man, because they damn sure gonna do it against us. Damn sure gonna do it against us. But outside of that, man, I'm gonna close it out there. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh Shai. Got class coming up again in a couple hours. Double back with me unless you're scared. Double back with me unless you're scared, man. We got to talk about this weed demon by demand. This was asked to cover that, so I'm going to go back over that. And I want to make sure that brothers and sisters understand and know why the scriptures are against weed smoking, despite what the Rastas are saying, despite what some Israelites are out there saying. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, it's all good. You know, and we're quick to run to Genesis 1:26. Oh, the Most High gave all the herbs of the field. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, we're going to look at all of that stuff, man. Let's get it right, y'all. All right. So tune back in again in a couple hours, man. MOTC, closing Shabbat class, man. We'll be handling that very soon. I want to give all praise, honor, glory to the Most High, Yahweh Shai, man. The water for y'all tuning in and checking out the information, man. Hezekiah, Shalom to you, right? Malik, Shalom. Appreciate your input. And everybody else who has some valid input in here. All praises for that, man. The other brother, whatever his name was, I forgot his name already. But, you know, even that provides stimulation for the solidarity of the group, man. All right. So with that being said, man, I'm going to go and get up out of here, man. See y'all in a little bit. All right. Shabbat shalom.